What happened to you, Randy? You were the Viper, the Legend Killer, the Apex Predator. A few years ago, you were punting Hall of Famers in the head, and I had to save them from the monster you were. As far as I'm concerned, the legend of Randy Orton is dead. And you, Super Cody, I want you to win at SummerSlam. I want Cody Rhodes to be the next WWE champion. This is the match I want. This is as big as it gets. This is 20 years in the making, parallel careers, different destinations. I want you to have that title so I can be the one to rip it out of your hands. And I won't hesitate. Unlike somebody. Oh! RKO! RKO! That's the Viper! That legend isn't dead, crew!
In 3, 2, 1, clap.
Huh?
Benoit balls.
I still think Kevin Sullivan did it.
I'm Aubrey Edwards. I'm not a wrestler.
Tony's quick sniffs of the week.
No, just my dickhead friends causing concussions and shit. All right, never mind.
There's barbecue sauce. So good, half the face don't work.
With Hogan that close up on the fucking camera reminds me of my racist uncle. I know you ain't listening, but you know who you are, you fucking racist.
Uncle Oh my God, for real, don't tell me that's his name. Oh, no way. I was kidding. I swear to God. I was scared. It was just the first thing that came to my head. It was the first thing.
Welcome to the Top of Wrestling with your hosts ODM and the Professor.
Good Wrestling Day! Welcome on back to the Top of Wrestling podcast because it's Wednesday, it's 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And this week, man, this is going to be a weird show. I'll at least say that right now. It's going to be news. We got results. We got Bring It to the Table. We have, reliving the Monday Night Wars 25 years later. We've talked about this. We've talked about it through Dark Side of the Ring with their episode. We talked about it just for shoot, quote-unquote, promos. This is Bash at the Beach 2000. And I never watched the entire pay-per-view all the way through until this past weekend, and motherfucker, did I want my 3 hours back. And this week, our top topic is breaking down which is a more fucked up movie. I took the time to watch both, not sure if ODM did or not, but we are talking Requiem of a Dream versus Kids. So, before we even get to the top topic, I will at least ask you, ODM, did you brush up on Kids?
On the plot and the storyline, I did not get time to rewatch it, and it was pretty much one of those. I knew
not a streamable movie. I didn't mean to cut you off. Not a streamable movie. It's tough to find.
Honestly, I think I watched it on YouTube like 3 years ago.
Okay.
So, but I'm excited, man, because as I was reading it and I started like thinking in my head just some preliminary thoughts on the discussion, I was like, man, this is a good one. This is a good one.
They're both deep and fucked up. I'm excited about it. It just randomly came to my head, and I was like, I texted you one night. I was like, what do you think about this?
Requiem's almost like a 25-year reunion.
Yeah. And for us, like a 18-month reunion for our logo that we used. Thank you, Jennifer Connelly.
Always thank you, Jennifer Connelly.
Well, speaking of, celebrities or actors or whatever, man, R.I.P. to Michael Madsen, which we talk about a lot of his work because, his stuff with Tarantino. Also, don't forget, he was the fostering father in Free Willy. And don't tell me that movie doesn't fucking jerk a tear out of you. But then all of a sudden, after he passes away, I end up seeing a bunch of videos that pop up about him. And one of them was that he was nervous and he was like, Tarantino, man, I don't know what you want from me out of this stuck in the middle dance. And they're like, just do what you feel. And he's like, he's like, it says dance maniacal. And he also improvised the talking in the ear part. Hey, did you hear that? That shit, that's great actor. Did you know he was in Hateful Eight?
I did. Probably my favorite character in the movie. But the interesting thing is he did some voice that... I'm just throwing you a curveball. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. We're sticking with it. Also did a lot of voice acting.
Joe Gage.
A lot of voice acting, so that was cool.
I did see that, and I didn't know that until he passed.
Yep, 100%. Oh, he was also in Sin City. He was Bruce Willis's partner. But yeah, and the fucked up thing is, just a couple weeks ago, is when I noticed Malenko did the Michael Madsen voice during a segment.
We talked about it.
Yep. Fucked up, huh?
Even more so, we talked about him maybe earlier this year, maybe last year. The movie The Getaway with Alec Baldwin.
Kim Bacon. Yeah, that's right. He was with Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then when he dies, she's screaming at the thing. That's him going through the elevator shaft. He was in a lot of fucking movies.
Yeah, I
awesome.
Liked him. Yeah, he was good, man. His line out of Kill Bill 2 is the best. That woman deserves her revenge, and we deserve to die. I loved it. It was fucking awesome.
I was going to counter with another one. I was like, maybe she's too busy for 4 cups of coffee. The first one.
Words too fucking busy shouldn't be in a waitress's vocabulary.
So I saw this picture online, and I was like, dear God, I don't understand why, but do you remember those action figures? The little rubber ones that were... It was the guy, he stood, arms and legs basically standing out all, in, perfect order. And then there was a giant hole in his ass, and you could put your thumb right up there.
It was basically a skin for thumb wrestling. So instead of just using your thumb, you actually had a wrestler on your thumb to thumb wrestle. That's what those were designed for. So
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, no. So I actually still have I have a bucket. So if you go to our Twitter page, The Top of Wrestling, check it out. You'll see our banner picture is a picture when I was at my parents'. They still had a bunch of my old wrestling figures. I've got the old WWF ones where they had the moves. You'd push down on them and they'd jump, or they do the press slam. I had the WCW ones that were solid, that did not move at all. And then I had some of the thummies over there too. So, yeah, taking me back, man. I remember them things. I think I even have Piper too.
It's just, they're so fucking weird when you look at it. It's like it's always right in the guy's ass, and it's just, I don't know. I think it's the weirdest fucking action figure, if you will. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
But you know what? What was it? A couple of weeks ago was, man, anything but the thumb, right? But this is, this takes nothing but the thumb.
This podcast is like Pacino in Heat. Asses. When we think of a woman's ass, something comes out of us.
Oh, dear God. So I did see that you put this here in the news, that we have WCW payroll figures that were released, and I assume you're pulling this up and you're going to read them off.
Already have them up. I'm not reading everything, but it's funny because they break it down from 96 to mid-2000, so almost the entire run of the wars, and then there's a grand total.
And I apologize for cutting you off. I just want to just ask now. So is it by year, or is it just overall 96 to 2001?
Both.
Do me a favor, by year. Let's just go by year, if you could. Give me the maybe top 5 or 10 if you want. I'm not sure how deep the thing is.
Okay, I have to eyeball it because it's a screenshot. It's not a spreadsheet that I can manipulate. So I'll try to eyeball it. I'll eyeball it. All right, you ready? 96. Probably the safest to say Hogan.
Hogan.
Yeah, 1,969,062. That was just for
Which
96.
is funny because in 2025 he'd be getting like fucking 200 million.
Right. Well, inflation's a
Knowing
bitch,
him.
you know?
Yeah.
Probably. Let's see here. Savage was 743,000.
This is 96.
We're still in 96. Flair was only
Okay.
513,000.
Wow, Savage came in and was like, "I want more than Flair." Okay.
No shit. Steve McMichael, 202,000.
Did his dog get money too?
Probably. Where did I see it? Brian Knobs, 242,000.
It does pay to be friends with Hulk Hogan.
Exactly.
Holy fucking shit. Highest
shit,
paid
hold on.
tag team wrestler by far, but almost on the same par as the other. Jesus Christ. Good for him. Good for him.
Jerry Sags, 241,000.
All right.
Ray Traylor, I just lost it. Hold on. Ray Traylor, 202,000.
All right.
Arn Anderson was 200,000. Oh, wait, here it is. The Disciple was 149,000. John Tenta was 239,000.
Wait, back up. Back up. You just hang on. I just realized something. Did you just say that Brutus got 149?
Uh-huh. We know who he likes
Who was
better.
supposedly Hogan's best friend, but Brian Knobs made 100 grand more.
Both the Nasty Boys. Both the Nasty Boys. So Dusty made 165, Terry Taylor 146, and those are the big ones for 96.
Look, I get what so that'd be what nearly 30 years ago.
Oh, and I missed a couple. Luger made 443,000, Scott Hall 379,000. Yeah, those
Nash
are the big ones.
Nash
336.
So I absolutely I get the inflation of the years, but even so, for back then, for most of those guys, that's not a lot of money. It's really not. Like, to be on the road as long. Well, no, wait. Never mind. They're working WCW. They're working 2 days a week.
Yeah, no
Never mind.
shit.
They're fine.
And actually,
They're
in
doing
96,
okay.
and I don't think Thunder Kid didn't come out until, 97?
Oh, you're
So-
100% right. Well, they may have done Saturdays because
They may have done a house show,
would
yeah,
be on
Saturday
there
night.
every
Not
now
the
and
big
then.
stars, though. But anyway, all right.
No, I meant Saturday night's event or whatever it would be on TBS.
Yeah, and Hogan must have. So let's look at this. Hogan went down in 97 to 477,000. Savage went to 1.9 million.
Wow.
But Hogan in 98 went to 3.78 million. And in 99 to 4.6 million.
Interesting.
Yeah. Goldberg. In 96, Goldberg made 20 grand, which makes sense. 97, 116. 98, 511,000. And in 99, he made $5.19 million.
Jesus Christ. What did he get in 2000? Is that on there?
Mid 2000, it went down to 2.3 mil. But no. I'm sorry. No, that was Hogan. 3 million. It went down to 3 million. Wow. Yeah.
They put so much stock in that dude.
Yeah. Hogan over the course made 13 million. It looks like the list is sorted by grand total. So Hogan made the most at 13 million over the course of that. Goldberg was next with 8.89. Bret Hart 6.75 million.
Which makes sense because Vince was like, I can't even give you $2 million. So go on over and take what WCW is going to give you. I
Right.
mean, when he first signed, he had like the multi-year.
Yeah, I don't want to go through this list, but I think it's interesting because the whole, Ray Traylor, who was an institution, he made, a decent amount of money for somebody of his stature. Yeah. The Nasty Boys. Here's the best part. Jerry Sags hold on, I got to find the year here. Jerry Sags in 1998, $1.
That can't be real.
Dude, it might have been just to keep him on retainer kind of thing, just to show he's on the books.
Oh, my God.
How bad is that?
Why
But
does
this
something
is an
go on
interesting list. Yeah, definitely. Oh, and knobs too. So both the Nasty Boys made $1 that year. Where's the disciple? Where's the disciple? Hold on, gotta find him here.
I feel like that's inaccurate. There's
No,
no way
no.
they're like, I'll stay on retainer and work for $1 the whole year.
But they might not have worked at all. That's the thing. Arn
But we've
Anderson
been watching them. They have done shit on Nitro. Each one of the Nasty Boys, at least
In
all the way
98?
from 96. In 98?
Yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I don't think they were doing much in '98, man.
Are we not seeing one right now?
One came back in '99 to do the whole hardcore thing.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. I've been blacking out when you talk about Nitro. Go ahead.
Dude, I black out. It was my fucking idea. But anyway, interesting list on the drive. If you care to look for it, everybody else, it's online. If you want to stare at it somewhere, find it. Or hit us up and we'll send it to you.
We won't.
We
So,
won't.
no, that's an interesting list. God, this one kills me. I got to be honest with you. This made me laugh. It's kind of like earlier when I was talking about those old action figures, So Soraya admitted on a podcast that she had a romp in a abandoned LA zoo park. And she said, not the real park. I'm like, it made a difference, I guess, really, to her. But I'm like, either way. But good for her. I don't know. I mean, like...
hey, she's obviously a freak, so... but I mean, I saw the same thing you did. The AI generated image of Soraya and Xavier Woods dressed as Steve.
It's a zoo day! Yes, it is!
I don't know what animal sounds to make based on that, but yeah. But it was great. Yeah,
She's
I mean,
a
hey,
horror, and you know what?
say
Fine.
it right.
Whore.
You were a good whore.
Roxy, you were a good whore. Okay, so I'm not going to lie. Earlier today, and this is just some fucking kayfabe, and it made me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we both were trying to work on today's document to record this show. Never really happens that we're at the exact same time unless it's like 5 minutes before the show and you're tuning up some shit. And I don't know what the fuck you did, man. You threw in the next segment at like font 84, and I go, bro, finish your shit and then come back to me and tell me I'm able to go back and work on this. I mean, like, you're making a mess of this whole document over here. I fixed it. But anyway. What it was that you brought to the table, and I appreciated it. And, I wanted to say that.
A couple things. One, I had just copied it and pasted it in a notepad and pasted it into the document. I wasn't done with it yet, but I knew no matter how nice I formatted it, you were going to change it because you are the most anal retentive person when it comes to shit like that. I thought I was bad. You're worse.
But
so I figured you were going to fix it the way you wanted it anyway, so...
But let me ask you, how good does that fucking document look each week when you copy it over? You're like, wow, this is a nice format.
When
I know what segments I win. Mark is really good at this.
So I copy it over into my notes, and then I have to fix it a little bit, But, I mean, it's still pretty good.
So what you brought to the news this week was not only the WCW payroll, but also the G1 Climax 35 blocks that have officially been announced, but not only that, all of the matches and schedules have been announced as well. And basically, I mean, it's, you could be like, wow, like, I don't know where I was going with that. Hang on. Basically, anybody in A block is going to face each other. Everybody in B block is going to face each other. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're going to get a lot of great matches. They're all going to be on, like, all right, the more I watch the G1 every year, here's how I want to explain it. Let's say, back even then, your match was Naito versus Omega.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the block matches are kind of It doesn't really matter. It's the main event that really made the difference.
Right. You got a couple headliners. That's about tournament.
It. Exactly. But it's a pretty decent stacked Climax card this year. I'm not going to say... I'm not going to say it's the best. It's probably the most I've cared probably in the last 10 years when it came to the climax. But
That's
Block
what she
A,
said.
and nothing but the thumb. Anyway, in A block, you have Hiroki Goto, Bolton Oleg, who's been feuding with Konosuke. They had their trilogy. Yuya Uemura, Yota Tsuji, David Finlay, Evil, his former tag partner, Sanada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, who is not only doing his last year, but now apparently his last G1 Climax, Callum Newman, and Raihoji Oya. First of all, how did I do on the first part of all the names?
Well, there were a couple, but I mean, other than that, not bad. I'm waiting for the next one because there's the one name I want to hear you say.
You're a fucking asshole. Because you're, I'm already going to trip up on it now.
I almost wrote it in there phonetically, just so you had, if you would have failed then you really would have gotten lit up. But I'm like, nah, let's give him a crack at this one. Next time I put it in there, I'll do it phonetically.
If you've listened to this show, you already know who's in the Climax tournament.
There's
in the B block. Yeah. So we have Zack Sabre Jr., who is your your IWGP World Championship, which kills me that the World Champion is always in the Climax.
Right.
I don't know why it bothers me, because they never end up winning it, and if they did, where do you even get... They've never done that scenario, so why even have the champion?
And the champ should get a bye from a tournament anyway. You're the champ.
You would think.
Yeah.
So, El Phantasmo, which we love.
Yep.
Shadow Umina, Shinga Takagi, Great Okan, Gabe Kidd, who is your more recent global championship heavyweight champion holder, Ren Narita, Drilla Maloney, Yoshihashi, and Konosuke Takeshita.
Hey! Nice job. All right. You nailed it.
Kayfabe, his name was a little bit earlier in the list, and I held it off to the end, and I watched you smile. You're like, you pussy.
Hey, you
I
saved
can
it
see
for
it
the
in
end.
your eyes. You're like, you're skipping it.
But you nailed it. That's all that matters.
All right, so you know what? Let's just, for fun's sake right now, because it's going to go back and forth. Who do you think out of Block A and Block B comes out as your main winner? Now, remember, it's the top two in... I'll even give you that. It's your top two in Block A, your top two in Block B, and then after that, they have a single elimination semifinal type tournament.
Right. The winners from Block A face each other. Winner faces the winner of the two from Block B.
Yes.
I don't keep up as much on New Japan as you do these days. And I had mentioned something a few weeks ago when we started talking about the G1 coming up. So I'm gonna take my shot here, and I'll even ask for a little help here. I think Tanahashi is gonna advance from A block to the finals.
I think for nostalgia's sake, likely.
Yep. I'm trying to think who he would have the most history with, because you don't want an up-and-comer to lose to Tanahashi. Or you could go with a newcomer to kind of give him the rub of working with Tanahashi.
And beat
I guess
Tanahashi.
You could yeah. Well, I think Tanahashi's going to win. So, I mean, I don't know, like maybe David Finlay. I was also thinking Yota Tsuji maybe. Or Goto, because Goto just had the title. You know what I mean? So I mean, those are all good ones. So I'll say for the hell of it, I'll say Tanahashi goes over Goto in the Block A finals.
I am actually in agreement with Hiroshi Tanahashi going into the final or the semifinals, and I'm giving it to David Finlay as the other part.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking
that. And for Block B, I am giving it to Gabe Kidd and Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay, so this is where I'm calling my shot.
Okay,
I think it's going to be Gabe Kidd. Gabe Kidd and Takeshita, and I think Takeshita's going to win the whole damn thing.
You think he's going to win the whole G1 Climax and head to Wrestle Kingdom?
I do.
Don't make me squirt. Don't.
Ew.
No. I do got to say, one guy, very under the radar, but he's a part of the Bullet Club, War Dogs, Drilla Maloney. Just don't sleep on this guy. I like him. I don't think he's going to win this thing by any means. He's like when Tama Tonga would be in there with Omega, Okada, Naito, all those guys. It's like, just don't sleep on the guy. He can go.
Yeah, and, we all know AEW's ruined tournaments. That's why the G1 used to be something that was kind of cool and unique, and now it's just another tournament. But,
sure.
That's the nice thing is some of these guys get exposure, So it's a good thing,
One thing I failed to mention last week, I had it in our news, and I was like, well, it's going to carry over. No fucking problem, because they're all still out.
Oh, yeah.
Is our recent injury news. And this is people who've been out from WWE. Funny enough, is I actually had to extract one name from it, because he came back this past week on SmackDown, which was Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
But these are wrestlers who are currently out right now. You have Chad Gable, El Grande Americano.
Not really.
You have, well, give or take, Kevin Owens, Liv Morgan. Dirty Dom has shown up and doing a lot of camera work, not wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely working injured, which I like. If you can do it, that's cool.
Oh,
Put yourself there.
The segment with AJ where he goes, he has the doctor's note, and he goes, "You're going to take out your old man glasses," and AJ kind of goes off camera, and then he comes back, and he's got the glasses on. It was fucking great.
Sadly funny.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio's out. You got Ilya Dragunov, who I had been waiting for to come back. I thought that he was cleared a while back. Maybe they're just waiting for the right moment. Tama Tonga, Zoe Stark, Otis, Apollo Crews, and still Bianca Belair. And all I knew is that Bianca Belair had a couple of broken fingers at WrestleMania. I mean, can you not wrestle with, like by now? That's April all the way till, July.
Maybe she got a bun in the oven.
Oh.
Maybe.
Broken fingers means career's over. She's going to go home and be a mother.
She is.
I was trying to do Becky Lynch. That was horrible.
No, that was terrible. She is pretty muscular. I'm guessing her man might have a couple broken fingers, but
ew. Choking him out with the hair. So, with TK's quick sniffs of the week, this one made me fucking just laugh. I don't know why. So for the last 2 years, AEW has done All In at Wembley Stadium. First year, very infamous with Punk's last match with Samoa Joe, the glass spot, FTR and the Bucks, and of course MJF and Adam Cole closing the night out. Last year, I don't know, whatever happened. This year, they're doing it in Texas. Why? They got beat out by Coldplay. Wembley was like, I feel like we're going to make more money with Coldplay than we would with AEW. You fucking lost to Coldplay.
And TK was all yellow. Yeah, I mean, are you surprised?
Oh my God, that was horrible.
I hate that fucking song.
Oh, you should die in a violent hell. If you love me, just let me know. All right, man. What the fuck did you put in here with TK?
I just saw, I grabbed the picture of something, and when I was prepping the notes, I saw it, and then I didn't really have a good place to stick it in there, so I'll do it. First of all, we mentioned Mercedes Hogan is now dating the Beast Mortos Esquire, and they started doing some stupid TikTok dance shit. I wanted to shoot myself in the face. But I saw a quote from her, and it said, "Don't call me Mercedes Hogan, call me Mercedes Omega." No. No.
Bitch, I will call you a bitch, and you will like me calling you a bitch. Which is funny because this past week, after she got on camera, or after, she had her whole little match or whatever, she gets on camera, looks right at the camera, looks at and says to Tony Storm, "Guess what, Tony Storm? Your time is up. My time is now. Cool. Thanks,
Original.
John Cena.
Yeah, original. Yeah. Man, go to Maury's Wigs, get some shit that doesn't come off your head. Go back to wrestling school, learn how to fucking wrestle, and then come back, drop the gimmicks, try something new. Maybe we'll actually pay attention. Otherwise,
They never
fuck
come
right off. Unless Jimmy Conway's choking you with a telephone cord.
Oh, Jesus. So as well as that happening on Dynamite, for the first time in over 2 years, Scorpio Sky was back on television.
Hey, he's back.
Hey. And I bet you there's not much ever going to come of this. He's just here. He's going to do a couple of more matches or whatever. I bet he's done soon.
Yeah, it's weird.
Can't imagine doing anything.
Because who was it? Anthony Bowens was doing like that I'm the best in the world shit, and he's got the contract
Max
for an open
Caster.
Max Caster. Thank you. And he's doing this open challenge. Then Scorpio Sky comes back with Top Flight, who, if I'm not mistaken, that's who he was with when he disappeared off TV, and beat Caster in like less than a minute. Like, it was quick. So they brought him back with a push. Now, again, it's short, with AEW, everything's short term, so who knows how long this is going to last, but maybe it's a brief push to see if they can get him to re-sign. I'd love to see him in NXT. I feel like his time's well past, but if he's going to show up anywhere, let him go to NXT or even TNA at this point. Shit.
His run is going to last as long as the buzz of the bump. I think that it was just, let's bring him out. We can. Hoo. I don't think TK's going to capitalize off of anything.
Yeah, it should have been a sniff of the week. It should have been a
bump.
sniff of the week. Yep, absolutely. No, you're right. Nailed it.
MJF has been feuding with not only Mystico, but apparently in AEW, he has been having his own little feud with Mark Briscoe, who has been coming out each week and saying that Maxwell Jacob Friedman has a ton of pickle. And, ha, cute humor.
Yeah.
Whatever. But they do have a shirt now. It says MJF has a tiny, and then it says kosher pickle.
Outstanding.
The big part of the night that got me was Jon Moxley saying to Hangman Page before he clotheslined Marina Shafir that Jon Moxley said, people out there call themselves the best in the world. That's basic bitch shit. I'm more than that. Yeah, I'm blading in front of cameras. I'm putting skewers inside of my head. I'm bleeding in a match where someone just gave me a headlock. That's what the fuck you are. You're more than that. You are absolutely more than a best wrestler in the world. You are fucking right on that comment.
I keep my world title in a briefcase.
I keep my weight at 96 like a cokehead.
Terrible. Yeah, listen, man, it's, at least he's got self-confidence. Give him that.
Sure.
Beyond
we
that.
all do. This does not count. All right? I'm going to say this right now. Johnny the Bull, Whiskey Man. It does not count that while Chad Gable is injured, the guy who is playing El Grande Americano has not been the guy all along. Even though Ludwig Kaiser was definitely that guy on Monday.
Yeah, well, and they even, dude, they literally spoon-fed it to you because they showed
The week before.
where he got super kicked by Penta and Kaiser was in the background. And then they showed earlier in the day from last week's Raw, where, Gable had his surgery, by the way, successful surgery.
Okay.
But they showed him in the sling, and he was talking with his stable, saying, keep the Alpha Academy spirit alive and everything. And Kaiser was lurking in the background again.
Exactly.
And, dude, it's 100% Ludwig Kaiser. So, yeah, I guess they get to keep the gimmick going. What do we always say about Sami Zayn? A Syrian Montreal guy dressed as a Mexican luchador. Or whatever we said. This is kind of it, too. A German dressed as a Mexican luchador that's supposed to be played by a white guy. I mean, I guess it still is, but
It's funny because while you're doing that, all I could think of was Simon Gotch about Enzo Amore. He's like, you got a fake tan, fake hair, fake Jordans, fake this, fake leather. Anyway, all right, I got a major problem. All right, on this coming Sunday, I'm sorry, let me back that up. I'm sorry. This coming Saturday is AEW All In. Now, let's admit it. Wembley, a couple of years ago, we were excited about it. We thought it was going to be pretty big, right? And it was okay. It lived up to some okay standards. And what kills me is it is in Globe Life Field, not AT&T, as they were originally predicting, by the way, because they were trying to keep it Wembley-like. But this is going to be in Globe Life Field, where I would say probably Texas Rangers play. It's
no
a
idea.
baseball field.
We'll go with it, yeah.
Sure. Now, the night before in Texas, they're doing Ring of Honor, Super Card of Honor. And they only have 4 matches announced. 3 of them are the only ones that really make sense. You have the tag titles. Sons of Anarchy, which is Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes.
Sons of Texas.
I said Anarchy. Wow, wow. That was funny. Because they're facing the infantry. That's who it is. Your women's championship, Athena, who is from fucking Dallas, Texas. I want to throw that out there right now. Against Thunder Rosa, which following is right there. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's right there in the area. And your world title match is Bandito versus Konosuke Tatesuka. I know. I thought the same thing. I was like, god damn it. So anyway, right now, they only have 8 matches on AEW All In. TK loves to do a 74 match card. You know what I mean? Why did you not put the ROH championships right on the pay-per-view, scrap that fucking Ring of Honor thing that no one's going to watch, and give Athena, who is a fucking, 900-day champion at this point, like, for real, give her the fucking credit she is due and put her on a fucking real pay-per-view, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. When was the last time they did that? Well, I feel like they did it somewhat recently, but no, you're right.
The only thing they do is put when Jericho was the world champion, him and Bandito. It would not be anybody else, or Kingston, or those guys. Athena has not gotten a fucking world championship match on a lot of their big pay-per-views. Right here in her fucking hometown. Yeah. It's in Arlington, goddamn Texas, and they're like, how about you fight the night before in front of 400 people, and we go, good job, and you get to keep the title.
Pretty much. Yeah, well, I think that's because hey, thrill of the bump.
It's bothering me. So, like legit, that actually bothers me. I'm like, if someone needs the due, it's Athena. So, on Saturday night, at the same time, roughly, beginning time, I'm not sure, I think one probably begins at 7, one at 8. No, Tony likes to start at 8 o'clock and say, fuck you to everybody. I want you to not be able to have any sleep heading into the next day.
Well, TK doesn't have a problem staying up.
What's everybody's problem? 8 o'clock, it's a great time to start. Oh my God, that's just when party's getting started, right? Am I right? But the free show that everybody's going to mainly watch is going to be Saturday night's main event. And there's only 3 matches I've seen right now that are announced, but I believe there's going to be one more announced before the end of this recording, I'm sure. But your world championship, you got Gunther defending against Bill Goldberg. You got Seth Rollins and LA Knight. And you have Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Drew and Randy I've seen a billion times, so I'm not really interested in it. Rollins and LA Knight, hoping a little bit of Punk involvement, likely. Especially after LA Knight and Punk got face-to-face after last week's Raw. He's like, hey, you can have them 6 days a week. Saturday night's main event, I am the line. It wasn't a bad fucking promo with LA Knight. Yeah,
it was good, yeah.
But, all right, we've given a shit about the first, pay-per-view about who wins. But Gunther, Goldberg for this big night. What's your prediction?
Goldberg gets to do a bunch of power moves, look like he's still the man. ultimately will lose, possibly through nefarious means to not make him look bad, even though he should be made to look like he really is, which is bad. And Gunther will retain.
Okay. I do not want this to be necessarily somewhat of the scenario. I wasn't a fan of how they muddied the waters of the championship match at Night of Champions, like with Cena and Punk. However, here's what I'll take. This is in Atlanta, correct? This is Goldberg country where we're at that night. It's his hometown.
Mm-hmm.
Goldberg maybe gets the win somehow. Breaker comes out, gives an extremely fucking badass spear. Rollins cashes in, becomes a world champ. Bill Goldberg still gets to retire that night. Doesn't have to defend it anymore. Now, why does that happen? Because Rollins would probably have to redefend against Gunther. But who did Gunther kind of fuck with on Raw last week? CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled him by the arm, chucked him to the ground, said, stay in your own lane.
Mm-hmm.
I could see if it was done just right. I would like to predict Rollins does cash in, takes the title. And if he cashes in and Punk fucks him, that's a whole different fucking scenario. But I would like to see Gunther, Rollins, Punk at SummerSlam. I feel like that's the scenario we should be heading forward.
That's not a bad idea. The way I look at it is I was actually kind of thinking about that too. Let me rephrase that. I saw somebody, I think, talking about Rollins cashing in at Saturday night's main event, which isn't a bad one, right? Because
also is a big fuck you to AEW All In.
Yes.
Sorry,
100%.
I wanted to say that.
Yeah. So it's like we've always said with Saturday night's main event back in the day. You never knew what was going to happen. It was pretty much straightforward, but every once in a while, something big happened, right? So I think that would be a good thing. And like you said, it gets Bill Goldberg his moment, another championship reign before he retires, yada, yada. Gunther seems like a company man. He'd go along with it. Now, the only thing that, whether or not they do the three-way, I would think that what happens is ultimately it's going to be Breaker taking the title from Rollins. That would be my direction with it.
And that's fine. After he retains at SummerSlam with some slimy shit, that's fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean,
I'll let Breaker take it from Survivor Series or down the road. But I think right now that's where I would at least go with.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. And I think that the underlying thing will be that Braun's going to get pissed at Seth for being so obsessed with Punk that he's going to be like, well, fuck it, I'm just going to take it now. Something like that. I don't know.
Did you notice that CM Punk's been listening to our show? Last week, he goes, I'm looking for Braun, Seth.
I did hear him say that, yeah.
I also saw someone else was like, yo, Tonga Loa. Everybody else has Tonga as their last name. He even botches his name. I'm like, motherfucker, people are listening to our shit.
Hey, Punk, how you doing?
All right, so let's chat about AEW All In, which is Saturday night at Globefield. And, starting from, I guess, I don't know, worst to best or best to worst. It depends on how you look at the show. We have a three-way tag title match where the Hurt Syndicate, which is Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, they are defending against Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, as well as Christian Cage and Nick Wayne, which Christian wants to win as a father-son duo.
Yeah.
That's his goal, which I don't care, man. Just end all of it. The TNT title is on the line, and that is Adam Cole against Kyle Felcher. This is a rematch from the time that Felcher nearly broke Adam Cole's neck doing the buckle bomb on the apron.
Remember that?
I bet you I'll fucking shave everything. I'll shave the beard, my head. They are going to do that goddamn spot again to make you go,
call back.
Yep. They're going to fucking do that spot again. I know it. This match, sadly, is interesting to me. it's a bullshit fucking thing, but it's also a decent stipulation. The Young Bucks versus Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. If Ospreay and Swerve win, they get the EVP status of Young Bucks. Or no, I'm sorry, they get the Young Bucks will be stripped of their EVP status. If the Young Bucks win, neither Swerve nor Will Ospreay can have a world title shot for a year. Bucks do come out on TV every now and then and call some shots, so I guess that would be an okay storyline killer, and letting the guys win. Also, interesting if you don't let Swerve or Ospreay go for the title in the next year, because I'm already losing a lot of steam as it is, and I feel like those are the only two I'd be okay with winning the championship outside of Darby at this point.
Yeah. And even then, I think that one's passed for me.
Exactly. You have the men's and then the women's casino gauntlet match, and the winners will get future world title matches. The men's gauntlet so far has Mark Briscoe, MJF, and Mystico. Wow. The most random gauntlet match ever. MJF versus both guys that he is feuding with. I mean, Christ, again, you still got your Powerhouse Hobbs, Samoa Joe, Max Caster, for fuck's sake. I don't give a shit. Like, anybody you want to put out there. And you're like, I'm going to put all this around MJF. So MJF is going to win this casino gauntlet fucking match.
And you're going to have somebody debut or return or make an appearance. You're going to get a surprise in there.
And MJF still wins.
Yep, probably.
For the Merge Championship, it's going to be Kenny Omega taking on Kazuchika Okada. I think Omega wins.
I think Omega wins, and I think this is going to be very disappointing compared to what we've seen in the past.
Okay, I can see it being disappointing from what we've seen before. On the level of 2025 and AEW and everything we see on TV today, it'll be nice to watch, but it won't be what we've seen before, if that makes sense.
Sure. Fair enough. It'd be a match, be like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot, and I want to actually see what they do here.
Sure.
You got my
nostalgia.
attention.
I liked seeing Cena and CM Punk one more time. Hated the fucking ending, so I'll probably hate the ending of this one.
Well, you'll probably hate most of the match.
Yeah, I'll probably hate most of the pay-per-view. AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm is defending against Mercedes 88 belt Monet. You called it since I don't even know how long back that Mercedes wins this match.
Mm-hmm. I hate to say it.
I am holding on to everything that is fucking sacred. I am hoping, and I am pulling for Toni Storm to win this match.
Yeah, so am I. 100%.
But I know that Mercedes is probably, both her and the Beast are taking TK behind the doors and being like, we got you covered here, man. Here's Coke. She'll blow you. I'll do all your legal shit. You'll be fucking fine forever.
That doesn't work for me, brother. And then she starts dancing awkwardly.
While she's blowing him, he goes to grab her hair, her fucking wig falls off, and she's got the bald head.
Do you think she's bald, or do you think she just likes wearing wigs, as like a fashion accessory?
I think she likes wearing the wigs as a fashion accessory, but I also think that she is extremely fucking bald, because most girls, I can't see that big a forehead. And I'm talking any girl who wears wigs.
Bitch gets out of bed looking like Freddie Monet.
Freddie. Oh my god. All right, well, that's official. She's Freddie Monet. That is done. Write that somewhere right now. God damn, that is fantastic. So I hope Toni Storm beats Freddie Monet. And then we have for the AEW World Championship, and this past week it was made official on Dynamite, because not only are we in Texas, but it's not only that it's Hangman Adam Hangnail Page.
Magnum TA.
It is another time that we have a fucking Texas death match.
God damn it.
AEW. Now, due to the Texas death match, let's get involved with who could get involved. Right now, Ospreay has been getting in Swerve's ear and being like, you got to understand, Paige is the one that's carrying this company, yada, yada, yada. And then you got Moxley and his little misfits of Schaefer and Wheeler Useless. So I think it's going to get even with people coming out and fighting on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're
Yeah, it's
raising
gonna be a
your
shit
hand
show.
before we give an actual prediction. So go ahead and tell me what you're about to say.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be a shit show because this is about what are they called? The Dick Nuts Incorporated? I don't fucking remember. The Death Riders, whatever the fuck their name is.
Dick Nuts.
You like that?
Wasn't that a kid's show?
Yeah, so you're going to have that whole stable involved, and it makes sense that Ospreay and Swerve are going to be there to back Page up, even though they've had a bit of a history, right? Go against the Death
Bucks
Riders.
will get in there too.
Bucks will get in there
well,
too. Omega
we'll
might
get
show
in the
up.
main
Okada might show up.
The Ops.
I think Bryan Danielson's going to show up, and it's going to look like he's siding with Moxley because they were in Blackpool together, and he's going to turn face, and he's going to kick the shit out of Moxley, and then...
No, but hang on. You got to remember. Do you remember why Danielson is gone?
They jumped and they choked him with the plastic bag. That's right.
With
Yeah,
plastic
there you
bags
go.
twice. So
Yeah.
you're saying, like, look like he's going to join
All right, never mind
Moxley
then.
and
All right, then
do
he
that.
just goes after Moxley then. I take that part
He
out.
should go after Moxley
Yeah.
and help Page
Win the
championship.
title. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's my prediction.
That is your prediction. Okay. My prediction is that Page will win. I didn't have an actual answer. I just knew it was going to be a schmoz and Willow Bertha Faye was going to get in there. That's the one person. Because who else is going to fight Schaefer?
Yeah.
It's Bertha Faye versus Schaefer. It's like the biggest feud in women's history for AEW.
Yep.
Speaking of women's wrestling, Sunday night, if you're not fucking tired of wrestling, you'll have the WWE.
You will be. You will be.
WWE Evolution 2. Looking at the card, I'm betting the way this is actually ordered, I bet you the main event is going to be what I'm about to say right now, which is the Intercontinental Championship. It'll be a triple threat match. Becky Hogan taking on Lyra Valkyria and also taking on Bayley in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. I bet that headlines.
Yeah, I mean, that's that. Well, no, actually, yeah, you're right. Unfortunately,
Because then are you going to want to say
Yeah,
the
unfortunately.
WWE or the World Championship are bigger than the other for the women's pay-per-view? Because on this card, you're going to have Tiffany Stratton taking on Trish Stratus for the women's championship.
The
or
Battle
WWE
of
Women's Champion.
the Battle of
And then
Silicon.
the World... Yeah, Battle of... It's a fully, man. And then you got the World Championship. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley for the 88th time.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, listen. I'm very happy about that, but I get it.
The NXT Women's Championship will be on the line with JC Jane taking on Jordynne Grace. There's going to be a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship match with Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defending against Alexa Bliss and the team of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, which is weird. And then 2 winners to be announced, one from NXT and Raw from earlier this week. And there is also a women's battle royal, and the winner is going to get a title shot at Clash in Paris. Oh yeah, and Jade Cargill's taking on Naomi in a no-holds-barred match. So,
Right.
I'll be really happy to read the results. Really, really happy to read the results of that show.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, I think this is Jordynne Grace's chance to get the title. Sky versus Ripley will be good. Sky will probably retain. Ripley doesn't need the title at this point. Other than that, I hope Bayley destroys Lynch and Valkyria because I hate both of them. They're terrible. They should be off my TV.
I just want Bailey's top to. But let's go to the table.
Yeah, I'll take her bottom.
Just bring it, bitch!
Oh my God!
Did we just commit to an Eiffel Tower?
Golden Gate. Golden Gate. We're making a bridge.
I gotta be the one to wear. I gotta be the one to wear a blindfold. If I know that you're in the room, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. So, this past Sunday night at CMAC it was the Beach Boys. John Stamos.
You get around.
That's right. Hey, first of all, I had fun. I met a surfer girl.
There you go.
God only knows what she was doing in my room.
You could have saved
your motherfucking going.
No, you could have saved yourself the hassle and just watched the Full House episode with with the Beach Boys. That would have been good enough.
All right, couple questions. Did you watch Full House? And don't
I
fuck
did.
with
Oh
me.
yeah, I did. Yeah.
All right. So you know the Beach Boys actually used to frequent the show quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. That's why I made the reference.
Right. Well, hang on. So Stamos played the entire fucking show with them. I thought he was going to come out and only do so many songs. They did 18 in the first half and like another 15 or whatever in the second half. They did an intermission. And the only show I've ever been to where a band themselves did an intermission was Rush, where they're like, "We got the catalog. We don't need an opener. We're fine." And they it was a good show, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it. I went there on crutches, and and I had my chair. Went alone. No one wanted to go see Beach Boys with me, weirdly enough. But in the second half, Stamos gets on the guitar, and he did that song that he does in Full House, when he gets married to Becky. If every word I said could make you laugh, I'd talk forever. Yo, the moment he started playing this, every chick in the place put their phone up in the air. They're like, "My youth, I masturbated to this." Oh my god!
Talk about nostalgia, huh?
Right, but at the same time, while he was singing it, the Videotron in the background was showing all the different video times that all the different times that Beach Boys showed up on Full House and all the different interactions and stuff like that. Yeah. Like when DJ tried to win the tickets and she was trying to help me Rhonda. She couldn't remember what it was. She's like, "Help me, Gibbler." And the radio station DJ, "Did you just say Gibbler?" I heard Bob Saget fuck Gibbler.
Oh, yikes. He used to suck dick for coke, I hear.
You ever suck some dick for marijuana? Ha!
I've seen him.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So anyway, Beach Boys was a fucking decent show, man. Overall, not bad, and I had fun.
Good. Glad to hear it. Nothing like a good concert. And you got to give mad props to the Beach Boys. I ain't mad at it. I just like to bust your balls. You got to bring up what I said.
Why? Brian Wilson isn't there. I'm like, yeah.
That's not what I said.
It's 100% what you said. You go, Brian Wilson won't be there.
I said Brian Wilson's dead. Why are you going?
Exactly. Okay. Close enough.
Is it? All right.
So how was your 4th of July?
Interesting. Very interesting. So for 4th of July, as you all know, fell on a Friday this week. Had the day off from work. Got some shit done around the house. My son had work a shift at Abbott's. So it worked out. He got out. We picked him up right away.
For everybody.
Yeah. Custard. Get it right. Picked him up.
I got some custard for you over here.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Let me get my thumb ready. So we go right to the stadium after we pick him up. We go and we see a bunch of people. Always run into people there. Rochester ain't that big of a city, so running into everybody. Sure. We're sitting down, and we sit on third baseline in the 200s. You get more shade there, and get a good shot at getting a foul ball. We try to position ourselves where you can try to get a foul ball. So
you did say it's Red Wings, right?
Red Wings, yes, yeah, Red Wings,
yeah,
Rochester
okay.
Red Wings. For those of you not aware, that's the farm team of the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, no one cares.
Some people care. I bet you Big John cares. Big John, not Big John. Johnny the Bull, not Johnny the Bull. The other guy, Buster. That
Jesus
guy.
Christ, Grandma!
I'm all over the place.
It's Little
yeah.
John.
Hey, what do you want from me? Boo-doo-doo. But anyway, so yeah, we go, and it's 4th of July, so they do fireworks, which is awesome. After the game, they announce their alternate uniforms that they're going to do August 20th, because August 20th is like the 100-year anniversary of the White Hot being invented. So they're going to be the Rochester White Hots. I'm getting a hat. It looks dope. The jerseys has the Zweigels logo, but it says Red Wings, or it says White Hots, Rochester White Hots. Dope as fuck. I'm getting one of the hats. I can't wait.
Do they still sell the Rochester Plates jersey?
I have it. I have the hat and the jersey. Yep.
I kind of want the jersey. I want to get one. I saw it while I was on the road, and I was like, well, Jesus Christ, I don't have a baseball jersey, and I feel like that's the one. I'm like, I'll explain that to anybody, no matter what state I'm in.
And it's hilarious. My brother must have seen it. You know, my brother's in North Carolina. He must have seen it because the next day he's like, you going to get one of the White Hots ones? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm getting one. He's like, I still hate the plates ones. He hates the plates jerseys for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, so I busted his balls about it. So anyway, Mama wanted some fried dough. You know, that's one of her guilty pleasures, if you want to call it that. So, you know, fourth, fifth inning, I go. It wasn't a long line for once, so got the fried dough. She
likes to look like Scarface, just her face filled with
Tony Khan. Yeah, she likes to look like Tony Khan.
Yeah, it was a wrestling podcast. That would have been a great reference.
Exactly. Way to fumble it. I'll tell you who else fumbled something here in a minute. So we're sitting there, and, you know, we were watching all these foul balls going by. There weren't too many that were that close. And then one pops up, and we're all looking up at it, and we're like, hey, man, that fucker's got some backspin on it. It's getting pretty close. Oh, shit, it's getting... Now, Jackie is on the end, kayfabe pal, and my son's in the middle, and then I'm on my son's left. We're like, oh, yeah, it's got some backspin. Oh, yeah, it's pretty close. That ball is pretty... That ball is right above us. And at the last second, I lunged, and I just... Hail Mary, didn't get it. My son, the baseball player, froze.
Good job, son.
And the ball, and all I see is fucking powdered sugar from the fucking fried dough go flying everywhere.
Oh my god!
The worst part is the ball bounced off and went to the right, and a bunch of other people got it. Never even offered it to my wife. Like, hey, this.
Wait, did it peg her in the head?
It hit her in the nipple.
I'm so sorry to tell you. It could have been just the boob.
I try to do it like a Jim Carrey and Cable Guy.
Nipple. Jesus fucking Christ.
Here's the best part.
This is the best bring it to the table ever.
Here's the best part. All of a sudden, this guy on my left who's sitting a few seats down from me, he pops his head and he goes, you guys need a doctor? And I'm like, no, we're okay. And Mrs. ODM goes, hey, dickhead, look again. It was our doctor.
Oh, I thought you meant look again like her tit was popped out. It was so big.
Just a big ring of blood.
There's no way we can't name this episode It Was Her Nipple. I'm sorry, there's no fucking way we can.
But yeah, our doctor was sitting right next to us. So that was fucking hilarious. But so there's that.
Did he do an exam, like to make sure she's all right, or?
No, she was fine. But the best part was it's hilarious because we saw a couple people get clipped by foul balls, and security and like paramedics would come up and be like, oh, you okay? Nobody ever checked on her. Like 5 pitches later, a guy got clocked in the head because he missed the ball. He puts his hands up, went right by his hands, clocked him right in his bald head. 2 seconds later, there's a guy with an ice pack. I'm like, how come they don't have an ice pack for you? Yeah.
Respectfully, it's because your wife and my wife both suffer from giant boobedness. So they're like, it was just a little fatty spot. It's okay. There's not a bone there. They don't look at that as a real issue. The head, they're like, they need ice pack.
Unfortunately, there won't be a bone there for a while.
He's like, there goes foreplay. It's like 80% of what we do. We work on that exact nipple.
If I don't get no tit, then I don't hit it. I'll made that up.
No. I used to hit the tit and quit back in the day. Yeah, fucking dead. I did not make you say your nipple. You just said any body part in the world. I'm going to need a break. Let's go more.
Monday Night Wars!
Hogan has asked for another microphone. I think he wants to talk again. So, we apologize.
Russo, what a return. Is this your deal, Russo?
Wow.
That's why this company's in the damn shape it's in, because of bullshit like this.
My God, this is real life. 1, 2, 3.
From day one that I've been in WCW, I've done nothing but deal with the bullshit of the politics behind that curtain. The fact of the matter is, I've got a wife, I've got 3 kids at home, and I really don't need this shit.
So before we get the Monday Night Wars officially started, I actually was taking a look at some things and you're really pondering things over on break, and I just wanted to say rest in peace to Mrs. ODM's nipple. That being said, we are at Bash at the Beach 2000. It is July 9th, 2000. Did you order the pay-per-view? Were you mad?
No, I think at this point.
Hang on. No. I'm not talking to you. I'm sorry. It was a rhetorical question out loud to people who are not you. Because this was a swerve of a night where you're like, okay, my world title main event match. Oh, cool. It's happening an hour and a half into the pay-per-view. All right, this is interesting. A lot of swerves, a lot of randomness put into this pay-per-view. And I did my own little bit of, again, the dark side of the ring research also, but I rewatched the timeline version of Vince Russo's version, which was shot in 2003, 4-ish. So I am giving it. Look at, man, he wasn't wrong when he was saying it was politics. Let's all get down to it. What this pay-per-view resulted in. Mm-hmm. But it was a worked shoot, or they worked themselves into a shoot.
Brother.
Is what basically happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, break it down.
All right, it's at Daytona Beach, and the first thing that I wrote is I timed it perfectly because as soon as I started watching this, the edible kicked in. Mm-hmm. Smooth arrives to the arena, opens the limo door for the Cat. Wants Smooth to ban the Filthy Animals and MIA from the ring during the Cruiserweight title match. And we hear a gong and some Japanese music playing. And the Young Dragons show up and Kung Fu poses, and we get a Kung Fu fight straight out of Dolomite.
Did you notice one of those guys is a young Tajiri?
Ah, I have not noticed that up to this point. All right. Well, we open up with that Cruiserweight title match. It's Hoovy versus Lieutenant Loco. Hoovy has the Cruiserweight title right now. Remember how...
It's actually spelled Juvie. Thank you.
The Hoos is Juvie. I don't know. Remember Kat saying the animals were supposed to be banned from ringside? Yeah, they come anyway and do their 5-minute shtick. For some reason, they let Dick Nuts talk, and for some reason, Conan's in an arm cast. Cast budget must have went back up. Then MIA comes down because Russo. The stables eventually leave. Decent opening match. Decent enough anyway. But then the animals come back to the ring in the same exact clothes. They just have masks on. Conan has one on that's so clear it basically looks like a bad mask of Conan. So they get sent back. Hoovy hit a nasty move to the floor. Chavo's on the floor. Hoovy comes over the top to hit a leg drop, but just lands ass first in Chavo's chest. It looked fucking brutal.
Yep.
Did you ever notice Scott Hudson sounds just like Excalibur?
Oh my God, he does. You're absolutely right.
It's like spot on almost.
I hate him so much.
Exactly. Yeah, it's fucking terrible.
I hate this whole commentary team.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. That boy is bad. Shivani's checked out. Then MIA comes back to ringside, also in masks. Major Guns comes down the ramp, smattering. Lieutenant Loco wins, and this match just went way too fucking long. Kat is in the office with the Young Dragons. This is like basically, this pay-per-view's an episode of Nitro. Basically. Kat says it's over. Love you guys. You did a good job. And the Young Dragons just keep repeating, good job. Yeah. I don't get it. And then he goes, maybe you don't understand the words coming out of my mouth.
Way to steal it from Rush Hour, dude.
I know, right? Listen, I did not realize how much the cat was on the show at this time. He's really one of the only bright spots. He really is, unfortunately.
It's like watching McFoley on Raw.
Yeah, fucking nailed it. Absolutely. Jarrett comes storming in, wants to know where Hogan is. Jarrett still has the fat lady with him. Cat says Hogan isn't here. And he's acting like Hogan may not show up for his title match on a pay-per-view.
Which, as a champion, why are you worried? Do you not...
Exactly.
That he doesn't show... Like, I need him to show up. He said he's going over tonight. I mean, where is he? Where is he?
So next you get Big Vito to the ring for a hardcore title match. It was supposed to be against Johnny the Bull. But here's the thing. If you remember last week, Johnny the Bull faced Terry Funk on Nitro. And I don't think I brought this up. Maybe I glanced by it, but I went back and looked. At one point, Funk's on the floor. Vito goes to hit a springboard off the top rope, but he doesn't get his momentum. He springboards back into the ring, lands on his feet, does the springboard again goes to do a leg drop. When he hit that leg drop, he tore his urethra.
Yeah. I saw
Ew.
this a couple of days later and forgot to bring that up to you. Like, I didn't know we had those.
I didn't know you could tear it like that. Shit, I'm going to have to reevaluate some things here.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Then it was supposed to be against Funk, but Funk got attacked by Vito on Thunder. So Vito says Cat has an opponent for him. It's Norman Smiley with Ralphus. We get a decent pop for Norman Smiley coming back. It's 2-on-1. The back of Ralphus's shirt says "Say No To" with an arrow pointing down to his crack.
I gotta say, I didn't know that Ralphus was on TV this much after Jericho left. Never fucking knew it, and it's awesome.
So I did hear. I think I listened to an old Talk is Jericho. Talk is Jericho before I started getting tired of him, and I think he was talking about this where when he got to WWF, he tried to bring Ralphus with him.
Oh,
yeah, and
they're like, "No, we're keeping this fat.
Yeah,
fuck, we got him."
Anyway, Big Vito hits a splash to Ralphus through a table to retain, but the best part is as Vito hits the splash and goes for the pin, Smiley just comes sauntering back to the ring from the back where they were, and he's just like dancing while his partner is getting pinned. The old Jeff Hardy Penta effect.
Penta Hardy.
Oh, yeah. We see Goldberg arriving to the arena. The camera makes sure to pan in so you can see Scott Hall's contract sticking out of his pocket. Visual effects, you know? Mean Gene is back. No idea where he's been, but he's back. Maybe he's limited to the big pay-per-views now. He's with Kevin Nash, cuts a promo on Goldberg. Nash sounds like he took a Xanax before the promo. He was just really flat. Super flat. He just woke up.
Tonight, we're gonna have a match. He's very chill.
but then he goes, "See ya, Billy." Listen, I love. Did you see the tweet that Nash put out about the 4th of July?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not celebrating because our freedoms are being stripped, yada, yada. I don't care if you agree with that or not. That's not what it's about. Cornette, who is a very bleeding heart liberal, if you've ever listened to his show, hates Trump, hates Republicans, whatever. Again, I'm not here to take sides. I'm just putting the news out there. Cornette retweets Nash, and he goes, "For somebody who only had 6 moves, he's got a lot of brains."
What an asshole. Good for you.
Oh, I love Jimmy.
Do you think that if Russo dies before Cornette, there will be an actual, like...
Oh, he'll find the grave and piss on it. Oh, yeah.
We've talked about this, like a streamed event where you can actually watch him piss on the grave.
He'll probably video it. I'm sure he'll document it for the masses.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway.
I only hope he's in a wheelchair with a bell like Hector Salamanca.
Just stands up a little bit and shits his pants.
Anyway, Gene cuts to the wedding gown match promo package, which leads us into said wedding gown match. Naturally, there's a wedding cake at ringside. I forgot all about this. David's in a tux. He takes his jacket off and he leaves it at commentary so we can all see the hair clippers that are there. David and Miss Hancock make out, and then Daphne comes out. Daphne looks weird. She had this really cool, like, black mesh. It was a dress. I don't know if you'd call it a wedding dress. But she had, like, a skin tone bodysuit under it. It looked really weird. Daphne low blows David. The match starts. They tease the cake getting involved. David gets involved. Miss Hancock dick kicks the ref, then rips his pants off for reasons. The ref is wearing tighty whities over the bottom of his shirt. Like his shirt goes down past his crotch and the underwear are going over it.
May have peed himself trying to do a little extra assurance.
Maybe. And then Daphne rips David's pants off. And then Daphne shoves Miss Hancock's face into David's crotch because Russo. David goes and gets the clippers. Crowbar makes the save. And then Crowbar voluntarily takes his pants off. To which Shivani says, "This is pretty funny, actually."
Oh, Shivani phoned it the fuck in on this show, I can promise you.
Crowbar has David in the corner. Daphne gets the clippers. Then Hancock decides it's time to get a mic out and just start cutting a promo and start dancing. Rips her skirt off, which technically means she lost the match. Which is true because right after that, the ref calls for the bell. Commentary's conflicted. Madden calls it a distraction. Hudson and Shivani are like, did she just lose? Then she teases taking her top off. Daphne comes in and cake faces her. And then the four of them have a cake fight. I feel bad for the match that's after this because it's going to be slippery as fuck. And then that boy says he wants to join in because it's two of his favorite things. Pussy he never gets and cake that he always gets.
He's that boy 1.0. And I gotta say, it's really, really, really funny when they're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I mean, did she win the match? Did she lose the match? And later on, they hit so hard. In our production notes, we don't have anything of Vince Russo coming out here. We don't have this in our production notes. They say it like 84 times about production notes, and it's like, you didn't have in your production notes what the fuck the rules were for this match?
Yeah, what the finish was going to be, you know.
Oh, it was rough.
It was just, yeah, that was... And you know, it's funny because they tease, because they never went the distance that WWF did with, you know, the whole Diva, you know, TNA kind of stuff. But they did shit like this where they teased it. They just never really went that far with it, right? Remember when Shawn Michaels pie-faced Sonny?
Yeah.
It was one of the episode logos.
Remember when Shawn Michaels got his ass kicked by a bunch of guys in Syracuse?
I think we're close to that anniversary, actually. No, we're not.
Something just popped up of it the other day, and I go, yeah. And it says X-Pac.
X-Pac and Bulldog just watched. Tough break, shouldn't open your mouth.
I just imagine Bulldog going, fuck it, he got himself into it. Anyway, Nitro.
Jesus Christ.
Not
right.
Nitro.
Not Nitro might as well be. Bash at the Beach 2000. We were all excited about getting to this, and it's already a shit show, already regretting it, but we got a lot left to cover here. The Cat's walking in the back of the arena. He's looking at some papers or some shit, and again, we hear the Japanese gong, and the Japanese music start playing. One of the young dragons pops out of a small dumpster. And again, the Cat. He's like, where's that music coming from?
He was good.
I love him. Dragons, but the dragons don't even attack him. They're just stalking. We cut the commentary. The idea here is they're still pushing this idea that Cat is concerned that Hogan won't show up. We see Cruz mopping up ringside, dude. Commentary had to stall so long that they went into like a verbal history of Hogan and WCW and everything that related to the match tonight.
Do you remember the time when he rolled down the street in Orlando when he signed his contract in 94?
Yep.
Do you remember the time he won the championship in 94?
In his first match.
Right.
Here's the thing, though. This would be the 4-year anniversary of him turning heel and starting the NWO.
Yeah, Bash, yeah.
And it's the same building. They actually brought that up, that it's the same building.
Yep.
So some history there. So that was good. They did their best, but every once in a while they would cut and you'd be like, you're making that worse. You're not cleaning it. It would have been easier to tear up the padding and put new padding down. And we're going to get to that in a second. Because next we get Sean Stasiak and Chuck Palumbo versus Chronic for the tag titles. There is still remnants of frosting all over the floor. At one point, Brian Clark slips in the ring because his fucking boot is covered in fucking frosting.
I saw it.
He was in the corner. He went for an Irish whip and he fucking slipped.
Yep. This is why you have a second mat. Like, that's why they have one put over the top. You just pull that one off. It's like a fucking
boom,
layer.
you're done.
Pull it, you're done.
Yeah, and they fold up. It's easy. Anyway, let's see here. Brian Adams hits an F5. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, he did.
And then Chronic hit what I thought was a really cool finisher. I don't know if we've seen it before. Basically, it was a doomsday device. But instead of the guy just fucking tumbling off and breaking his neck, they hit it into a power bomb.
Yeah.
And that's pretty dope.
So a clothesline to a power bomb,
Yes.
basically, but it was solid. And then they win the fucking championship right there. Best part of the show for me. I was like, oh, no shit. I go, this thing was a diamond in the rough on this show. I didn't know this happened here.
100% match of the night because it was a straightforward wrestling match with no bullshit. And
Two
the
good
right
teams, too. I mean, they actually put a pretty decent show on.
They did. This was the standout. You nailed it. This was the diamond in the rough. This was the fucking polishing a turd right here,
totally.
you know? Right here. This was
I
it.
swear to God, as I watched it, I go, oh, people still didn't know what the fuck was happening coming up soon. Like, that's exactly my thought. I was like, this seems like a good show for these people so far.
All right. Cat's on the phone in his office, and the music, again, the gong and the Japanese music. Cat hears it, and he's just looking around. He's like, what the fuck? Where is this coming from? And Jeff Jarrett storms in again, wants to know where Hogan is. And he says, Jarrett says, he better show I'm going to screw at your show. The music comes back, the dragons come in and attack Cat. Sure. Next, we get Positively Canyon. That's Canyon in his DDP gimmick versus Booker T. Keep this in mind because most of us know where this is going. If you don't, just remember this.
I just got to say, to be honest with you, Canyon right now looks more like Chris Jericho than he looks like long hair.
Good call.
The tights, the shirt, everything. I'm like, you just look like Jericho to me. That's all you fucking look like right now. But I get where you're going with it to look like DDP, but all I see is Jericho every time.
Yeah, you nailed it, actually. Yeah, you're 100% right. He actually looks way more like Jericho than he does DDP. But he's coming out to his music. He wears his shirt. He changed the book to be Positively Canyon, so that's the gimmick. Okay, keep in mind, it's Canyon versus Booker T. All right? We all know, and if you don't know, just pay attention and you'll know. Jarrett comes in, hits a guitar shot to Booker. Canyon hits an avalanche cutter and wins. Flat. Okay? Just remember, Booker T, even if it was interference, he loses. All right? We see Mike Awesome kicking it to the fat lady. And this is the beginning of the Fat Chick Thriller gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Mikey's in the fatties.
The broad comes in, calls Mike Awesome Mr. Muscles, and Mr. Muscles cuts a promo on Scott Steiner. And they have their match next for the U.S. title. They fight right into the crowd. Cat gets to ring, gets on the mic, tells Steiner he can't lock on the recliner. So Steiner knocks Cat off the apron. We get a ref bump. Cat goes for a super kick, but Steiner ducks it. It hits Mike Awesome. Steiner goes for the recliner again. Cat gets on the mic again and says, I will strip that title if you use the move. Steiner flips him off and does it anyway. So Cat tells the ref to strip Steiner of the title and ring the bell. Steiner attacks Cat on the ramp, goes back to Mike Awesome, hits an angle-like slam. And so does Mike Awesome have the title, or is it vacated? Because even Shivani has no fucking clue. Again, check your format.
I hope vacated wins it, because that's an air title for him this year.
It's his second U.S. title win of the year.
Exactly.
Vacant is killing it. 4 world titles, 2 U.S. titles, a cruiserweight title, and the tag titles.
The only thing is I actually thought tonight, on this night, he actually got a reign.
Right. Again, flashback to Wrestling with Regret. We don't need to get too deep into it, but I went back and watched his video, and he counted things a little bit different than us. So our numbers are going to be different than his. I'm confident in ours because we're doing the work.
I'm confident in you.
Oh, well, thank you. That's the first time I've ever heard that from anyone. Next, we get the Demon versus...
Your wife didn't say that on catch the ball, I'm confident in you.
Hey, no, the baseball player sitting next to her should have taken care of that.
Fuck.
But,
I got a beer in my hand, honey. What the fuck do you want me to do?
I know, right? I've actually always wanted to catch it because, if you catch a foul ball with your beer, you got to chug the beer. That's a rule.
That's what we need you to do.
Yeah, I know, right? Need that like another hole in the head. We get the Demon versus Vampiro in the Graveyard match, and this is great because they start crawling.
The first cinematic match, man.
Well, no, they've done a Graveyard match. Vampiro did one with Sting already.
I know, but it was horrible. That's how bad it was. It was pandemic era horrible.
Dude, Demon comes into frame in the Graveyard with a torch, and they're doing like the human chain thing where they're all holding hands. It's Asia behind the Demon, and trailing them is Charles Robinson. They end up in a grave. Basically, this is Vampiro jumps him, Vampiro absconds with Asia, Demon chases. Repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse. They end up fighting in a pond. Then they end up fighting back to where they started. Vampiro gets the Demon in the casket and rolls the casket in the grave.
SKIP, that's how I watch SPPV.
Yep. Gene with Shane Douglas, a Pomo on Buff. We get that next. It's Buff versus Shane Douglas. Tori comes to the ring for reasons. Even commentary doesn't understand why. Again, the format sucked. She slaps Shane Douglas. The ref is tending to Shane Douglas. Tori and Buff make out, and then she dick kicks Buff. Tori interferes some more, and Shane Douglas gets the win. So she's sucking his dick now, I guess.
Could be character-wise. Doesn't mean it has to be real.
Come on.
That's the way you're like,
Come on now.
come on.
We finally, the suspense has been broken. We see Hogan has arrived, and man, he looks pissed. Wait till after the match. Gene's...
Fresh, solid tan, though. The dude is very, very tan.
Oh, yeah, very, very, very tan. All right, here we go. All right, buckle up. Here we go. I'm gonna be giving you some nonverbal cues here because I want to get some shit in here. All right, so we're gonna do our best here. All right. Mean Gene is with Jeff Jarrett. We get the Jurassic slap-ass line, one of my favorites. Jeff Jarrett asks Gene if he's ever seen The Usual Suspects. He doesn't really get to why he's asking that question, but after watching it, I went back. It blew my mind in a very abstract way because I have a reaction, and I'll get to it.
Wait,
so,
can I just bluntly ask? Is it
sure.
the devil thing?
No. Again, so I don't know why.
We can move on.
Yeah, I don't know why Jarrett referenced it, but it ended up making sense to me. I don't know.
I just thought he was saying like basically Hogan's the devil at the end of the day.
No, maybe. Okay. Anyway, all right. So we get the hype package, and we're there. You got Michael Buffer announcing the title match. He's doing his usual stick. Sorry if you get a little feedback there. Me adjusting my mic.
And wait, just to just say we're probably about an hour and 45 minutes into this pay-per-view, and the whole pay-per-view is
There's only 2
2
matches.
50 minutes.
Yeah, there's only 2 matches left on the card.
Right, so this is like an hour
Technically.
left, technically.
Yeah,
Yes.
technically there's 2 matches left on the card. So it's Jeff Jarrett versus Hollywood Hogan for the world title. As you probably recall from recently watching the episode, Jeff Jarrett said he was so hesitant to go out that they had to loop his music.
Yep, and they did, because you're sat there waiting.
So at 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 48 seconds into the pay-per-view, his music hits. Madden calls it out. And about a minute and a half later, at 1:54 and 24, Russo comes to the ring with a baseball bat. Jeff Jarrett follows. Hogan comes to the ring. Jarrett powders back to the top of the ramp. Hogan cuts a quick promo on Jarrett. Jarrett gives the title to Russo. Go ahead.
And he says, I'm come to this ring, and I'm gonna power bomb your ass for my friend Big Sexy. I go, you've never power bombed anybody. You can't lift shit.
That's what I said. I said, listen, Nash may have a sloppy looking power bomb, but at least he uses it
Hogan,
consistently.
We both know you ain't doing that to anybody.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the bell rings, and Jeff Jarrett immediately lays down in the middle of the ring. And when I say in the middle of the ring, he could not have been, I don't know if he did that on purpose or if it was just happenstance, but he laid down in the middle of the fucking ring.
It probably helps that the Bash at the Beach logo is
there.
The
nice
ring.
centering point. Yeah, absolutely. Russo gets on the apron, tells Hogan, go ahead, pin him. He throws the title in the ring. Russo throws the title in the ring, heads up the ramp. And Madden goes, someone deviated from the script. You think? Hogan motions for the mic and says, is this your deal, Russo? That's why this company's in the damn shape it is, because of bullshit like this. Puts one foot on Jeff Jarrett's chest, and Shivani goes, my God, this is real life. And 1, 2, 3. Jeff Jarrett immediately gets up and heads to the back, and Hudson says, my God, we're going to have some explaining to do tomorrow. You think? Shivani looks at his notes, and he's trying to make sense of what just happened, as we all were. And while we're at it, in the year 2000, the WCW World title has gone from Bret Hart to vacant, to Chris Benoit, to vacant, to Sid, to vacant, to Sid, to vacant, to Jeff Jarrett, to DDP, to David Arquette, to Jeff Jarrett, to Ric Flair, to Jeff Jarrett, to Kevin Nash, to Ric Flair, to Jeff Jarrett, to Hollywood Hogan. It is the seventh. Okay, it's Hogan's first and only title reign of the year 2000. It is the 17th title change, 191 days into the year. That's an average of a title change every 11.2 days.
They're killing so hard for the ratings. How do you like this guy? How about this guy? No, hang on. Give us till Thunder. How do you like this guy?
Pretty much.
Now, so I do want to jump in here. Before we get to the latter part of this thing, right, we'll say with Vince Russo. Original plan, apparently, quote unquote, with Dark Side of the Ring, Russo's story, Eric Bischoff's story. On Thursday, they came to an agreement, Thursday before the pay-per-view, and said, this is how we're going to end this. And well, before that, Hogan was like, yeah, that doesn't work for me, brother. I'm not ending I'm not going to lose the title to Jarrett that way. And then Russo came up with another idea, and he said, okay, that sounds good. And then, supposedly, Hogan and his team faxed over post-WCW hours at late night on Friday night when no one's in the office, saying, please let everybody know I'm not doing that finish. Well, and then they head to the pay-per-view, and Bischoff tells Russo, hey, he's not doing that finish. He's not going to lose to Jarrett tonight. And then they go back there, and I'll basically say it like this. The first part. This is what Russo's story was, is that Hogan goes, in a real life, that wouldn't happen. If all this stuff, that wouldn't happen. He goes, okay, then let me tell you what is real life. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to go tell Jeff Jarrett that that you won't lose to him tonight. And then he has to lay down in the middle of the ring. He goes, that's real life shit. And he goes, and then I'm going to take the title from you, and I'm going to end up putting it on someone else at the end of the night. And you can fight it. And he goes, and it could be a great storyline. There's many sides to this story of what was going to happen. But at minimum, some of this was supposed to be a work. Funny thing is that one of the people being worked was Jeff Jarrett, which pisses me off.
Me too.
Vince Russo was working him. He was like, yeah, Hogan just won't lose to you. So when you watch him hesitant, not going to the ring, the quick middle lay down, and as soon as the pin was over and standing up, that was some real shit from Double J. I'll give him that. The whole thing, it's like, man, there's so many sides to this story. I still don't know what's real, but let's keep moving because it's not over.
Well, here's the thing. So after that, Hogan takes the title, he walks off the ramp, and we've seen the video clips before, but they didn't show it on the pay-per-view because once he gets to the entranceway, right before he goes through the curtain, he tosses the belt up in the air over his head. Yeah, there's footage of that that was not on the pay-per-view. He gets there
because isn't his kid or some kid carrying it later?
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a second. But the best thing about this is like that. He's gone. Which is from...
Well, that's exactly what I meant. Yeah.
The Usual Suspects. Isn't that fucked up? But that's it. Hogan's gone. We are not seeing him for the rest of the wars. Yeah. It's over. This is Hogan's last appearance until he comes back to WWF in what? 2002, 2003?
2002.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. But yeah, it was fucked up. So again, I think it was suggestive because he said Usual Suspects, and when I was typing my notes, and I was like, holy shit, this is Hogan's last appearance. I wrote that line from Usual Suspects. I thought it was an interesting connection. So, but you're absolutely right, because right after that, we cut to the back, and this is the most hilarious segment of the whole fucking pay-per-view, because we see Vampiro, and they're hyping up Vampiro going to the ring, and Hogan just walks right by him.
Horrible timing to do camera shots, guys.
And yes, his kid or some kid's holding the world title that Hogan just threw on the ground.
And you hear Shivani go, "Ow, that's the world title."
It sure is. All right, so we cut to Vampiro. He comes to the ring with a mic. The demon is dead. And then the Druids and the Sting masks carry the coffin to the ring. Vampiro opens the coffin. Someone in a Sting mask pops up, attacks Vampiro with a bat, and puts Vampiro in the coffin. Sting's music plays. I guess it's a nice distraction from what just happened?
No. It wasn't a nice distraction. It was a distraction.
It was a distraction.
Which is what I can say for the next match.
We get Gene with Goldberg, and then we get Russo coming to the ring. And that boy goes, now what? The best part is the fans on the hard cam, there are multiple fans giving Russo the bird.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
Which is great because watch them again. They're all going to flip their fucking shit in a minute when they realize they're like, oh, you know what? Okay.
Okay, all right. Russo says, 3 weeks ago I left WCW, and he does the thing where he like leans on the ropes and hangs his head in shame, as he would. Says, I didn't know if I was going to come back because from day one I've done nothing but deal with the bullshit of the politics behind that curtain. I got a family, and I really don't need this shit. I came back for every one of the guys that week in, week out bust their ass for WCW, for the Booker T's, for every guy in MIA, the Animals, Jeff Jarrett, for the guys that give a shit about this company. Let me tell you who doesn't give a shit about this company, that goddamn politician Hulk Hogan. And let me tell you what happened in this ring tonight. All day long I've been playing politics with Hulk Hogan. He wants to play his creative control card. That meant that tonight, when he knew it was bullshit, he beat Jeff Jarrett. Hogan got his wish. He got his belt, and he went the hell home. I promise everyone you will never see that piece of shit again. Nobody's being ripped off here tonight, though. Hogan now has the WCW belt. We're going to refer to it as the Hulk Hogan Memorial Belt. That belt don't mean shit. There will be a new WCW belt. That belt still belongs to Jeff Jarrett. He is still the official WCW champ, and he will defend the title tonight against Booker T. Hogan, you bald son of a bitch, kiss my ass. And excuse me. And Russo heads to the back, which leads us with In the year 2000, the WCW World title has gone from Bret Hart to vacant to Chris Benoit to vacant to Sid to vacant to Sid to vacant to Jeff Jarrett to DDP to David Arquette to Jeff Jarrett to Ric Flair to Jeff Jarrett to Kevin Nash to Ric Flair to Jeff Jarrett to Hollywood Hogan back to Jeff Jarrett. It is the 18th title change of the year 2000. It's the second one tonight. 191 days into the year, an average title change every 10.6 days. And we're not even done with the pay-per-view.
I'm still a little disappointed. I thought it was going to be vacant getting one.
I understand.
Yeah. A little bit.
So right now, vacant is at 4 reigns, and Jeff Jarrett's at 5.
Fuck, come on, vacant. I believe in you. Come on, be an injury or two by the end of the year.
Well, vacant's got 2 U.S. titles, a tag title, a cruiserweight title, so on top of it. So he's doing pretty good for himself.
So now, for those who are new, let's just say, you know what, you're Wheezies. Mr. and Mrs. Where did this go? Why did this happen? Russo originally had pitched this plan to Hogan, saying this is what we're going to do. Hogan was under the impression, yeah, brother, I'll come back with a title. He has a title, kind of like the John Cena CM Punk thing that happened in 2011, right? And Russo claims that he was advised by Brad Siegel, do not hire or do not call Hogan. We can't even afford him to have him on the show anymore with how much we're draining money. Even though he was supposed to call him the day after Bash at the Beach and didn't. Outside of that, he also wasn't supposed to say any real hardcore, discriminating kind of shit or whatever.
No F.U. Hogans, basically.
Yeah, and he's like, you bald-headed son of a bitch. Like, no one called Hogan bald any word before that.
Well, the best part, yeah.
Not even heels. Not even like Kevin Sullivan and the Cult to Kill Hulkamania ever said bald. You know what I mean? Like, he went above, and so I get both fucking sides of it, man. So like I said, they worked themselves into a shoot that night.
Yep. And the best part is that Hogan and Bischoff left on a plane as soon as that match was over. So they didn't find out what happened until they landed.
With that said, please, I think there's more to this pay-per-view. I can't believe this is the longest pay-per-view we've done for any wars. We're at fucking 30-something minutes just on one pay-per-view.
Just the pay-per-view. Yeah, we still got the regular shows. Shivani said, we have seen a man pour his heart out in a shoot.
They called it a shoot. That's right.
Yeah. So next you get
and this is where that douchebag Excalibur off to the side is like, look, in my notes, I don't have anything for him to be here. Not in my production meeting. I had nothing about Vince Russo coming down to the ring and yelling at everybody.
Shivani and Hudson both had nice leather, folders that they opened up with all their papers in it, and they're just blindly thumbing through them all. But like, it's not here. It's not here.
And all three look like Hawaiian dorks.
Yes.
Hey, dork. What's up, dork?
That's the best part when you watch this is when you watch like the Dark Side of the Ring and they show them cutting to commentary. They're all in Hawaiian shirts for like one of the worst things in wrestling history.
They look like 3 guys at like a fucking luau and their wives are getting banged out by some fucking Samoan dudes.
Like the 3 young guys that shared the room with the Golden Girls in that one episode.
Oh my god, I know which episode you're talking about.
I know you know which. It's the one guy's the brother of Bobcat Goldthwait in One Crazy Summer. That's how much we actually know. We're talking about the
shit out of him.
Yeah, why are you so fat? So next week, next you get Nash versus Goldberg for Scott Hall's contract. Scott Steiner comes to ringside. Kevin Nash sets up his powerbomb, and Scott Steiner turns and attacks Nash. Sure. Spear, jackhammer, Goldberg wins, tears up the contract, and Steiner locks in the recliner. Mean Gene's with Booker T, and Booker T looks more stunned than anybody else. He's like, yeah, so remember when I lost earlier in the night? I'm going for the world title now.
I have a theory, but please finish this.
So, our new main event, because Buffer has to come back. Buffer probably had no fucking clue. He's like, wait, I already did the thing. I got to go do it again? So
I already drank all my lemon juice for the night. I'm done.
He did a good job, though, because he's like, in a historic setting, the second world title match of the evening.
When I was in my dressing room, you cocksuckers!
Oh, my God. So it's Booker T versus Jeff Jarrett for the world title. This would have been a decent match if you ignored how we got here.
And they had time to make a match together in quality fashion.
And the fact that half the match took place in the crowd. Jarrett locks in a sleeper. Booker fights out. Jarrett locks on a figure 4. Booker escapes. Jarrett works the knee. We get a ref bump. Jarrett grabs the title, but Booker ducks, uses the title on Jeff Jarrett. The ref comes to. It's a kick out. Jarrett sets up a chair in the corner. Booker reverses it. That gets us a 2 count. We get another ref bump. A low blow to Booker. Jarrett gets the guitar, goes for the acoustic equalizer. That's the jump off the turnbuckle guitar shot. Booker reverses into a bookend, and Booker T wins his first world title. Big fucking pop. After everything those people went through, they at least got a feel-good moment because you got to admit this was pretty fucking big. So it leaves us the end of the pay-per-view. In the year 2000, the WCW World Title has gone from Bret Hart to vacant to Chris Benoit to vacant to Sid to vacant to Sid to vacant to Jeff Jarrett to DDP to David Arquette to Jeff Jarrett to Ric Flair to Jeff Jarrett to Kevin Nash to Ric Flair to Jeff Jarrett to Hollywood Hogan to Jeff Jarrett to Booker T. It is the 19th title change of the year 2000, the third of the night, 191 days into the year, a title change averaging every 10.1 days.
Motherfuckers kept you on your toes. Let me ask you this question.
I need another beer.
If Vince Russo didn't see his love for the Booker T's, as he says,
bro,
is he ever as big of a Hall of Famer as he is today? If Vince Russo didn't put the strap on him once?
That's a good call. It's difficult because the company was in such a shit show. If it had been...
But when he came over from WCW, he was a world champion when he came over.
Dude, they threw him right into a feud with Austin.
But my point is, if he wasn't in that scenario and Vince Russo wasn't like, I'm behind Booker T.
I think they might have done it on the last episode, maybe. Which they did anyway, but...
I'm just saying I don't think they did, but I'm saying that I don't think... If WCW pulled the triggers the right way, I don't think WWF at the time would have put as much stock into Booker T. I really don't.
No, I agree. Well, maybe, but I definitely see where you're coming from. That's a good point because, I mean, really, Booker was already a big star, but this just put him over the top, right?
But he was only a tag team guy at that time, so.
Well, no, he's been wrestling single for like a good year at this point.
Sure, but it's been met in WCW.
Yeah.
The fact that he's a world champion makes it just a little bit different in caliber.
Sure. Yeah, definitely bigger. Definitely bigger.
All right, fair.
After these messages,
we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Wilford Brimley, and I have diabetes. It hurts me to pee, and it causes me to be short with my family. I can't sleep at night. The other day, I stubbed my toe and took it out on the dog. And 2 weeks ago, I ran out of vanilla ice cream and struck my wife. And then I find out my wife's been dead for 6 years. Who the hell did I hit?
This message brought to you by the National Diabetes.
Hashtag not a sponsor.
I love a good diabetes commercial. Who the hell did I hit?
Who the hell did I hit? Last night we ran out of ice cream and I struck my wife. Then I found out she's been dead for 10 years. Who the hell did I hit? Last week I got angry and I took it out on the cat.
The dog.
The dog, whatever.
All right. Nitro.
All right. July 10th, we're in Jacksonville for Nitro. It opens up with Tenay giving a verbal history of Booker T in WCW and his journey. We cut to commentary. It's hilarious because that boy is still dressed like he's at Bash at the Beach. And Excalibur and Shivani are dressed almost identically. They have the same sports jacket, the same style of shirt on. The shirts are slightly different colored, though.
No one slept last night. We went out partying and got blacked out.
Right? Yeah. So Booker T comes to the ring, says, "This is not a wrestling promo. I'm here to speak from my heart." Dedicates the title win to his mama. Says, 8 years in WCW. He puts the fans over. Player haters in the back. You know who you be. Don't hate the player. Hate the game. And then he wants to talk about Bill Goldberg. Makes fun of Bill Goldberg for scratching his arm when he punched the window out of the car. And he's like, Goldberg, let's call you what you are, a mark. He calls Goldberg a mark. I don't care if it's a work or a shoot. I love it. He says the fans made you what you are. And then I want security to bring my wife, Lavestia, into the ring. They kiss. Stevie Ray comes out, wants Booker to listen, plays the older brother role, gets to saying I love you, and they hug. Then Scott Steiner's music hits, and Medeja comes out with a mic for reasons, starts talking shit on Booker's wife. She says there's one real man at WCW, my Big Papa Pump. And then said Big Papa Pump comes into the ring with a baseball bat and lays everybody out. And he corners Booker's wife. Lavestia. Isn't that like that artificial sweetener? We come back from...
I don't know, I met a stripper with that name once, but...
This is the one that took your glasses off?
No, this one had... never mind.
Yeah, never mind. Come back from break. Booker, Lavestia, and Stevie are backstage, and Booker says, I'm going after Steiner. Stevie, get my wife out of here. And the Broad is with Jeff Jarrett, calls her blonde slapnut, says he wants a rematch tonight. The Broad says, well, the Cat already booked a match for Booker, and Steiner comes in and attacks Jeff Jarrett and shoves down the entire backdrop that they use for those backstage promos. Let me tell you, the roids were flowing tonight. Next, you get Shane Douglas out with Tori. They both cut promos. It was better when she didn't talk. She calls out Kidman, and then Crowbar with Daphne come out, and apparently they're going to have a match. Franchise wins. Buff comes in post-match. Next, the Broad is with Kidman. Kidman calls Tori a skank. Jeff Jarrett shoves him out of frame. He's still on about wanting to see the Cat. Kidman fights back. Smooth arrives, opens the limo door, carrying a gold record. And out of the limo, it's Tank Abbott in 3 count. Fuck me.
Not gonna lie, when I saw the gold record, I was hoping Honky Tonk Man.
Honky Tonk.
Honky!
Cat's on the phone. Jeff Jarrett interrupts, hangs up the phone, wants a title shot. And Cat says, all right, you can face Kidman tonight. Hooray. So Tank Abbott and 3 count come to the ring. There's a ladder in the ring, and they're going to hang that gold record up above the ring so they can enjoy it all night. Where? Where the fuck are you going to hang it? They get jumped by the Young Dragons. Tank Abbott grabs one of the dragons like he's ready to hit the KO punch. And then, out of left fucking field, the Great Muta comes in and sprays Abbott in the face. In my notes, I wrote, I'm going to have a cigarette now. The crowd popped. I popped. It kind of sucks that Great Muta comes back and it's in a segment with Tank Abbott and 3 count. But, I mean, he's back.
I did not have Great Muta on my bingo card in the year 2000.
Yeah, me neither.
For WCW.
Looked good. He looked good. But, yeah, and then the Young Dragons take the record. For reasons. Okay, sure. The Broad's with Canyon, and he goes, listen, bro. And she goes, bro? He's pissed because he beat Booker T on the pay-per-view, and then Booker won the title later that night. He should be the number 1 contender. I'm going to find the Cat and make him feel the bang. Bro? Now you get Jarrett with Kidman. Tori comes to the ring. She argues with Kidman, tries to slap Kidman. Douglas comes in, DDTs Kidman on the floor. That only gets a 2 count from a DDT to the floor.
It's AEW. Come on.
Yeah. Jeff Jarrett wins after a couple false finishes. Cut to the back. Steiner is beating the shit out of Canyon. The Roys are still raging. We see Mike Awesome with, I want to say it was Bertha Faye. If not, it was a Bertha Faye-esque looking woman.
I think it was Bertha.
Yeah, probably. And what a gimmick, the fat chick thriller. Gotta love it. Cat interrupts. And
fatties
like,
everywhere.
Rolling fatties. Cat gives Awesome the US.
Awesome was rolling a fatty.
Yeah,
down to the ringside.
Cat tries to give Awesome the U.S. title. Mike Awesome's like, I don't want it. I want to earn it. You're a heel. You should have just taken the fucking title. Anyway, they never mentioned it, but Mike Awesome is Booker T's opponent for the world title.
They don't know how to book heels right now. One is going like, oh, where is my opponent. I'm supposed to defend this tonight. The other one's like, I don't want to take a free title. You guys do not know how to really book heels in this era right now.
Yeah, not the smartest. Awesome gets put through a table. Booker wins. Steiner comes in post-match, puts Booker in the recliner. Cat leaves the locker room pissed off about Scott Steiner. Come back from break, Cat's in the ring. He calls out Steiner, gives him 3 seconds to give him a title shot, or I'm going to stick this mic right up your ass. Cat calls Steiner a stupid bitch. Cat sucker punches Steiner. Steiner chokes Cat. Booker makes a save. Then Canyon runs in. Then Jeff Jarrett runs in. The Cat powders. Booker cleans house, and Cat says, hey, don't give it away. We're going to have a triple threat for the #1 contender. You'll get a shot at New Blood Rising. It's going to be Steiner versus Canyon versus Jeff Jarrett. Then Goldberg's music hits, and he says, let's have a 4-way. Great. Didn't we just do this last week? Or the week before?
We did. And I'm just starting to realize Ernest the Cat Miller is reminding me of Uncle Elroy from next Friday.
Yeah, a little bit.
Uncle Elroy. Get as high as you want to over here with me.
A little bit. Yeah, I see it. I'm going to call my mama.
Chicken's so good, makes you want to slap your mama.
Psh. What? Fuck, Sergeant Barbecue. I can't get it right. Never mind. Smiley, Norman Smiley is Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
We'll fry anything. Moving on. Norman Smiley's training Ralphus earlier in the day as I'm running up and down the stairs. Now they're in the ring. They want a rematch from last night, so Vito comes out, and here we go. This is fucking terrible. Vito splashes Ralphus through a table again, but this time Smiley's there, and he hits Vito with the chair. Vito just falls face forwards and lands on top of Ralphus and gets the 3 count, retains. Outstanding.
Did you know that boy actually dips his fingers in at the Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage oil over there before he bites his fingers?
No, he is the probably guy that goes to Golden Corral and just like gets a fistful of nacho cheese.
This'll do. I don't need a plate.
Don't worry, the bakery ain't open yet. The cats. We're off the rails. It's over. We still got Raw to get through. All right, the cat's walking back.
We have a lot to get through.
I know.
Speed this shit along.
The cat's walking backstage, and the Japanese music starts playing again. Again, cat's the best thing about WCW. It's another bad kung fu flick. The cat keeps the dragons at bay. Paisley is backstage in the what the fuck moment of the night that has no context, and I don't know if it even goes anywhere. She's pissed that the artist's shirt isn't ironed, and she says, hey, you, can you help? And it is a stereotypical gay guy in pink fuzzy slippers and like pink pleather. It's the Kiwi. Yes, the Kiwi.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. We see Lenny Lane in the front row of the crowd. He has a sign that says, use me. Not like use me like abuse me. Use me like, hey, I'm still on the roster. Can you book me in a match?
I wish more wrestlers would just do that in real life.
Well, that's the Drew
McIntyre.
Work here,
you know.
Drew McIntyre made a shirt out of it. Bored at work. Fucking awesome. Next, you get Lance Storm versus the Artist. Storm comes out first. The fans are chanting USA, and Lance Storm says, I do not dance, I do not sing, all I do is wrestle. Thank God somebody in WCW does. They play the Canadian national anthem, and Madden actually knows it in French, which was impressive. And they actually showed some of the fans being respectful, taking their hats off, and I thought that was kind of cool, especially for Jacksonville, of all places.
We ain't got no problem with the Canucks.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything. Paisley's on commentary, and Storm wins. Vampiro arrives in a hearse. Captain Erection and Corporal Cajun versus Chronic for the tag titles. Chronic retain. Vampiro's backstage. The casket's there, back from break. Vampiro comes to the ring. Shivani just randomly brings up that as recently in like the last week, Bam Bam Bigelow had a fucking brush fire near his house, and he saved a couple kids.
Kayfabe, pal. That's why he's not on TV.
As soon as Shivani literally finishes putting Bam Bam over for what he does, And Vampiro gets on the mic and go, "That isn't right." And Shivani goes, "It is." The timing was just so good. Because Shivani's like, "And big ups to Bam Bam for saving those kids." "That isn't right." "It is right." It was unintentional. You know, it was probably the most sensical thing on this show. Next to Vampiro's promo, which was very nonsensical, he knocks on the coffin, which is right at ringside, and the demon gets out. And Asia tries to pull him away. Vampiro wants the demon to be a man and beat his fiancée. The lights flicker, we get thunder, Sting's music hits, and we get a guy in like a... It's a masked guy, but he's got like a Black Ops thing, you know, where it's just the eyes that you can see, and he's all dressed in black, but he's got a bat. He attacks Demon and Vampiro with the bat, hits the Stinger splashes, hits a death drop to Vampiro, and they put a spotlight on him in the ring. I don't remember Black Ops Sting.
No. It's all in the same magazine?
If you get the deluxe edition, it is. You get your main event. It's Jeff Jarrett versus Scott Steiner versus Kanyon versus Goldberg, #1 contendership for the world title. Steiner almost fights a fan before the match starts. I told you the roids were strong tonight. And for reasons, it's not a fatal four-way. It's a four corners match where you have to tag to get in. And it's one-on-one. So Steiner and Goldberg end up getting tied up. They go over the top rope to the floor. That allows Jeff Jarrett to get the pin on Kanyon. We'll see you on Thunder. No, you won't.
I've always hated those where you got to tag in. It's like, well, why would I tag someone else to win the match?
Yeah, dumb.
Unless you want to tag out, let someone take a beating for a bit and then come back in. But it's meh.
Mm-hmm. After these messages,
we'll be right back.
I took Xambrex for over 15 years, till I learned the benefits of once daily Sanguelto, our latest generation blood thinner. When I'm at a multiracial picnic for some reason, the last thing I want to do is have a stroke. And thanks to once daily Sanguelto, I can eat potato salad with chuckling strangers with the confidence of someone who knows he's 12% less likely to suffer a stroke recurrence. Thanks to Sanguelto, I can snuggle with my age-appropriate wife on a blanket underneath non-holiday-related fireworks. I left her for 6 weeks back in 2009, only to realize I was already too old to bed the type of women that would make such a separation worth it. So here we are, grinding it out till one of us has that second stroke that you don't come back from. Thank you, Sanguelto.
Hashtag not a sponsor.
All right, thanks, Family Guy. 2 for 2. Sanguetti. All right, let's move it on.
Raw's in San Jose in the Shark Tank. Show opens with Chris Benoit and Shane. Shane gets on the mic saying, "Everybody's wondering what the relationship is between me and Chris Benoit. We're just friends." Shane says Benoit is cold-hearted and ruthless. Brother, you have no idea. Shane directs the attention to the Tron. Benoit attacking China, and Eddie talking about putting the crippler on China. Put it on and just let her scream. Yikes. Foreshadowing. Then they attack The Rock. Then they cut to SmackDown where Rock went after Shane, which allowed Benoit to lock on the crossface to China again. Benoit cuts a promo, calls Rock a coward. You hide behind women's skirts. I'm the best technical wrestler in the history of WWF, and I want you to prove me wrong in a non-title match. But if I win, I get a title match at Fully Loaded. Unfortunately, Foley isn't here to make the match. He's on a PR tour of Southeast Asia, which they show you a map of 5 times during this. Says, I hope he comes down.
In case you don't know where it is.
Yeah. Hope he comes down with a case of dysentery. Rock comes out. And he says, if you think Shane McMahon is anything more than a silver spoon, puffy cheeks, punk-ass son of a bitch, you're wrong. And if you think I won't come down there and kick your candy ass tonight, you're wrong. Just bring it. China and Eddie come in. They hit Shane with the chair, and Benoit and Shane powder. Next, you get Too Cool versus TNA with Trish versus the Hardys with Lita in an elimination tag match. Lita and Trish have been feuding as of late. Hardys get eliminated first. Scotty's about to hit the worm, and then Taz just comes in and chokes him out. That allows Test to get the pin. TNA win. Triple H is with Steph and DX in the locker room, pissed about Foley screwing us even while he's away. Road Dogg's facing Jericho, and they can't attack Jericho in the back, and they can't interfere in the match, or Triple H doesn't get his shot at Jericho at the pay-per-view. So Triple H tells Road Dogg to get the job done or don't come back. Kevin Kelly's in the back. He stops Taz and he says, hey, man, what's up? What's up with you lately? And Taz says, so now you want to talk to me? I don't think so. And he leaves. Outstanding. Next, you get Road Dogg versus Jericho. Fight starts on the ramp. Triple H and crew watching from the back. Road Dogg went for a moonsault. I thought he was going to pull a Lesnar. I'm amazed he made it over. Don't do that again. Jericho goes for the Lion Salt and basically completely missed and pulled an RVD, and Jericho's knee landed right in Road Dogg's face.
Couldn't have him to a better person.
Yeah, exactly. Jericho wins. Triple H is pissed off. He throws a lamp across the room. We got a great shot of Taker in the back driving his motorcycle around. People are just jumping out of the way so they don't get run over. Road Dogg's back in the locker room. Triple H runs him down and shoves him into the couch. Taker comes to the ring. People talking too much, but when someone pisses me off, there's going to be hell to pay. He calls out Kurt Angle. He says, you stopped me and Kane from winning the tag titles, then you poured milk and food all over my new motorcycle. You didn't even have the common courtesy to clean it off. You got beef. I ain't a hard guy to find. It's time for Kurt Angle to find out why I'm the American badass. Time for me and you to fight, so tonight let's get it on. Angle comes out to the top of the ramp. He apologizes for everything. As they say on the streets, my bad. That's pretty good. Again, Kurt Angle, national treasure. There's a match like this cannot be wasted in San Jose. It's true. It's true. This would have to be at Fully Loaded, Mr. Undertaker. I don't think anybody wants to see that, though. You know, maybe you need to clean up your image a little bit. I'll be right back. And he comes out on a Vespa. And he fires it up, and he rides it around the ring. And Taker says, you know what? I'm going to kick your teeth so far down your throat you'll be able to chew your own ass out for pissing me off. Angle gets to the top of the ramp. The Vespa stalls. He powders. Taker rides his bike to the top of the ramp. And Taker just takes the Vespa, and you can see he's like, I've never seen one of these fucking things before. How do you operate this? He figures it out, and he just rolls the fucking Vespa off the ramp.
He's doing better with less chew in his mouth, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
His promos are a lot better when he doesn't have a whole can inside of his mouth.
Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Next, you get Rikishi versus Kane versus Val Venus for the IC title. Val Venus cut his hair, preparing for his next role. Sting faced Val Venus, but Val Venus uses the title on Rikishi. It's a DQ. Kane choke slams Val Venus. Hooray. Stephanie finds Triple H in the bathroom, says, you got to get a hold of yourself. We're going to make things right. And Triple H says, I have an idea. And then they cut away. Come back. Stephanie comes to the ring, calls out Jericho, and says, I have a proposition. Come down to the ring, and let's make up. I'll make it worth your while. And Lawler goes, take a look at those lips. I'm wondering which ones he's talking about, but... And then she says, do you want to know a secret?
Tell me. I was going to say, tell me, Beatles. That's exactly where I was going with
start
it.
singing there. Never mind, botch that one. At King of the Ring, when you laid that kiss on me, I kind of liked it. I think you liked it too. Before this all blows up, let's put the past behind us and let's be friends. Pucker up, Chris, and let's make up. And we see Jericho on the Tron. He says, man, I've been thinking about nothing but that kiss. I'm coming out there. I'm going to give you the biggest smooch you've ever had. And the most horrible part about this is Stephanie, right after that, she just like puckers up and like leans forward. Looked like a baboon's ass on her face. It was not very good. And she just holds
Wasn't
that
good
pose.
with the short and squatty version.
Yeah, it was even worse with the short and squatty version, probably. Jericho's music hits, and then we see DX at the top of the ramp waiting. No Jericho. Triple H comes out, and Jericho's back on the Tron. He goes, that was the most pathetic attempt at an ambush I've ever seen. Pretty goddamn funny. And true. Kevin Kelly's with Edge and Christian. Foley gave the Acolytes a title shot tonight, and Christian says, hey, man, I'm coming down with a case of the sniffles. Edge, I think maybe you should face one of the Acolytes tonight because I'm not good to go, and you can face one of them one-on-one, and naturally it wouldn't be for the titles because it's a singles match. Single matches rule. Yeah, they do. We see DX in the locker room. X-Pac says, well, that was a dumb idea. Triple H goes, it was my idea. You got a problem with it? Triple H shoves X-Pac into the couch. And now Triple H wants a match against X-Pac tonight. So our singles match is Edge versus Bradshaw. Christian slides the ring bell in while the rest distracted Edge gets the win. Next you get Lita versus Trish. TNA and Val Venus tell Trish, hey, we can't be at ringside tonight. So, they're hyping her up. Lawler starts talking about Trish's puppies. I was looking at the dump truck personally. Lita hits a moonsault, and then, for reasons, because Attitude Era, rips off Trish's shirt. And she starts to rip her trunks off, and we hear the right to censor alarm. Steven Richards comes to the ring, pulls Trish out, covers her up. Boo. Richards gets on the mic and says, "You don't know what's good for you, and I do." And he gets asshole chants.
First Lita and Trish match, by the way, which is
kind
of a big thing.
That's we're going to get a lot more of those, that's for damn sure. Road Dogs with Triple H, trying to scrap the match against X-Pac, and unfortunately, I think we're getting very close to a different breakup, but it's not tonight. Earlier today, XFL and San Jose, they're getting a team. During the break, we see Road Dogg leave the arena because he wants no part of the Triple H X-Pac match, which is next. Jericho interferes, then Road Dogg comes down the ramp with a sledgehammer, laughing, and DX gang up on him. They got him this time. X Factor, pedigree, sledgehammer to the gut. Stephanie slaps him. He'd shot with the sledge. The officials finally come out and swarm, but they don't do anything. They just watch.
Oh, if I would come in there, you'd be in trouble.
Pretty much. Come back from break, Jericho's being stretchered out, bloodied to hell, and DX is just jeering him as he's loaded into the ambulance. And we get to the main event, non-title match between Benoit and The Rock. Jericho wins. If Benoit wins, he gets a title shot at Fully Loaded.
Yes.
Rock hits a spine buster. Shane pulls the ref out of the ring at 2, rips off his own shirt, and Shane's wearing a ref shirt. Rock chases Shane, that allows Benoit to hit a clothesline, locks on the crippler. Rock reaches for the rope. He swipes at it. He hits it, but he can't grab hold, and his hand comes down and hits the mat. Shane calls for the bell, announces Benoit's the winner. He's counting that as a tap out because his hand hit the mat.
As did Nancy and Daniel.
Ay vey.
I'm sorry. It was a softball, kind of. I'm sorry. It was a weight bench. I don't know. Sorry. Go ahead.
You think it was the same kind of phone cord that Benoit uses Conway did in Goodfellas?
They never come off.
Let's get back to the match here. Benoit and Shane are heading up the ramp. Garcia gets on the mic and says, referee Earl Hebner calls this match a DQ and gives the win to The Rock. Shane and Benoit head back to the ring, confront Hebner. Benoit slugs Hebner. Rock comes back up, takes out Shane, goes after Benoit. All the refs come in, and then Rock ends up hitting a rock bottom to Earl Hebner after he just reversed the decision and gave Rock the win. Good night, folks.
Quite the fucked up ending.
Yeah.
Which just kind of works well heading into our fucked up segment. So I've been debating how we should do this, okay? And I think if it's best, you personally, because I think that you are very good at describing things faster than I would be. I'm going to be like, and then there's AIDS, and then rape, and then... But I would really like it if you would kind of give both plots of what Requiem for a Dream is, as well as Kids.
All right, I'll do my best. All right, let's start with Kids here. Kids was written by Harmony Korine. I don't know if I said that right. Sure. It's like Larry Davis, I think, was the producer, maybe. I think I got that wrong, too. David Leary. I don't know. Some guy. You basically have 4 main characters. 2 male, 2 female. It's in New York City. It's early 90s? 93?
Yep. I think it is like 92, 93.
Yep. And so one of the male leads has just had sex with one of the female leads. She lost her virginity. To him, and it's basically
which, by the way, the ages in that shit is like fucking 12 to 16 for most of these people.
Yes. I actually think the youngest was 13. I think.
Okay.
But yeah, 13 to 16. Yeah, and the two male leads are skateboarders, so there's a lot of that aspect into it. But it's basically just about a lot of sex and drugs and drinking, more hip hop than rock and roll. In this one, sure. If I remember correctly, but basically, after the 2 characters have sex, they kind of go their ways, and it's the guys' perspectives and the girls' perspectives, And the guys are just bouncing around, and the one guy who just had sex with, the one character. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give the names here.
That's okay. Yeah, that's all right.
But he's bragging about now he only likes having sex with virgins. Like, that's his preference, right? And, they're all bragging about, their sexual escapades, and, they steal a 40 from a store. They buy some weed. They attack some dude with a skateboard and beat the shit out of him. Yeah. And then meanwhile, the girls are talking, and their conversations about sex are actually a lot more subdued, and more realistic, as you would expect it to be. I mean, that's not much of a stretch, right? Sure. Especially at that age. But so they end up actually going to the clinic, and they both get tested for STDs. Rosaria Dawson's character comes out clean, but Chloe Sevigny, I believe, is the other one. Mm-hmm. She finds out she has AIDS. She had sex once, and now she has AIDS. So the rest of the movie, she's basically looking for the guy that she slept with in the beginning, to find him, to tell him, like, hey there, fella,
your dick ain't great, bro.
Got AIDS.
I can't even say it. It's H-E-R.
So she's trying to find him. Long and short of it, she ends up finding out he's at a party. And if I'm not mistaken, it's the younger sister of one of the lead females who's 13.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the guy...
She catches him fucking at the party.
Yep. And she's like, all right, I'm out. And while she was looking for him, she got roofied at a club, and she passes out and gets raped by another guy.
The one of the original guys, like, I only want to have sex with virgins, who was also in Next Friday. He was the white dude that hung with Day Day.
In the record store?
Yep, that's him. And he was actually dead in real life now. But
probably had AIDS.
But he goes and fucks that Chloe chick while she's unconscious on the couch, and it's like, and you don't even know she just got fucking tested for AIDS.
So
and it's positive. It's
three people at the very end all got AIDS.
Yeah.
And then there's like a sequence at the end, and the guy wakes up and he's like, "What the fuck happened? You got AIDS, bro."
Full blown. All right, so now let's move on. So we got the gist of that movie. Now let's talk about Requiem.
So Requiem, it starts off. You have your two main characters. They are running off with a TV. They go to a pawn shop.
Jared Leto and Marlon Wayans.
Yep. And they're selling it. They're selling it to get money for heroin.
Yep.
Later, Ellen Burstyn, the mother of Jared Leto, comes to buy
the
TV back. And you look at the ledger, and this is a weekly occurrence. They steal the TV to pawn it to get money for drugs. She comes back and she buys it back. Sounds like robbery with a lot of extra steps, but who am I?
Well,
And then you've got Jennifer Connelly, who is Jared Leto's girlfriend.
Yeah, you do.
And she's also into heroin. And so while these heroin, because it's always about just getting more H. These guys are... they're junkies. They seem pretty well put together for junkies, but, they're always fiending. They're always looking for the next score, right? And then there's problems with supply, and they're trying to get their hands on it. Meanwhile, the mother, Ellen Burstyn, she watches like this infomercial TV show, game show thing.
That she's trying to get on, yeah.
She's trying to get on it, and it's the guy who plays Shooter in Happy Gilmore. And there's like a phrase, there's like a chant that they do a lot. But basically she has this little red dress.
Spin that wheel. Or some shit like that.
Yeah, but there's another one. But anyway, so she has this little red dress that she wants to wear when she gets on the show. She hasn't even gotten tickets. Actually, no, she does get tickets. She does get tickets to go to the show. She's going to be on the show. She wants to fit in her little red dress. Her friend comes over. She tries it on. Ain't happening. So her friend's like, my daughter went to this doctor and she got these pills and she lost a lot of weight. So she goes, and next thing you know, she's hooked on methamphetamines. And this is just the downward spiral of where all of these behaviors go, where you've got people who are just street drug junkies and somebody who just wanted to lose a few pounds, and how both roads can take you to the same place. Yeah.
It kills me with the mother. Not only that, it's obviously a mental fucking thing, but like you see her go through. At one point, she gets put into a mental facility and she does like electroshock therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like every time they do heroin, you have like a 7-scene sequence that always happens. It's like where it's like the shooting, putting into the thing, like
very quick, very quick.
Right, it's going into the veins, but this is what's happening. And obviously, you know, fuck you if you guys are listening to this right now. Spoilers, heads up. We already gave you a spoiler in the last movie. But Jared Leto waking up with like just no fucking limbs, basically. Jennifer Connelly waking up after a night of, well, we've made fun of it before, you know, just for whatever, but the thing she was doing for money,
Maid Marian,
in a fucking like a huge like corporate environment that's probably ran by my old boss. What happened to Marlon Wayans? Why am I dying on that one?
So what happened was, all right, so there's a lot. So basically what happens is the Ellen Burstyn thing, that's just the rabbit hole. It just does not end well altogether. She ends up like wandering on a subway.
Yes.
And that's where she ends up in the mental institution. So there was, the supply for heroin was really bad. And Leto and Connolly are fighting, and he's like, here's the number, go suck some dick and get some heroin. And him and Marlon Wayans go, I think they go like down south because they hear about a score, and it's like being held in like the back of a grocery store or something, like the loading dock, right?
Which is, okay, that's why it leads to the amputation.
Yep.
Okay, yep.
So Connolly does the Maid Marian thing, and she does all the horrendous things, but here's the thing, at the end of the movie, she's the happy one. She's the happy ending because she curls up on the couch with this bag of heroin. That's all hers. Right? Granted, she had to go through hell. It's the happiest ending out of all of them. She got what she wanted. Right? And she's got all her limbs,
next to the other guys who were all in the room.
Right? So, down south, Wayans and Leto get arrested. Leto has a major infection on his arm for shooting in the same hole, and he ends up losing his arm, and Marlon Wayans basically becomes a jail slave.
Yup.
Working in the fields.
That's right. Wow. Fucked up movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's get back to the original question. What's the one, if you were like, man, if I could tell someone don't watch this one, what would it be? Requiem or Kids?
For me, it'd be Requiem, and I'll tell you why. Kids was very unique for its time. I think it came out with it didn't come out with a rating. Initially, it was going to get an NC-17 rating. The age of the kids is what really makes it horrific, and just all the AIDS going around. You know,
that's what I'm saying. That's a fucked up
for the early '90s. But
it
was
me think about what I was throwing my dick into. I don't want to play some Russian roulette.
You weren't throwing your dick into anybody in the early '90s. Who are you kidding? Other than your hand. But no, the thing is this: it liked it. The subject matter is raw, much like your hand. But no, seriously, the subject matter, the way that they portrayed it was like guerrilla, right? It was like Clerks, right? It was black and white. It was very
raw.
It was very raw.
It was. I'll give you that.
But it's real life shit, and you really made you think like, fuck, are kids really like this today? Right? Is it really like that? To me, Requiem was way more visceral because not only do you have the components of what they're actually going through, but the way the film was shot made your heart race. It made you feel what they were feeling. It did a real good job of pulling you in. And a quick side note, the guy who did Requiem is the same guy that did The Wrestler, Darren Aronofsky.
Yes, I do know that. It's funny because before we decided to do this topic, I was having a conversation with my wife, and she goes, "Did we watch that one together?" I go, "No." I was at Whiskey Man's one night, and him and Joe were like, "Bro, you haven't seen this? You got to see this." I'm also 80 to 90% sure this is the same night that you guys told me to text that girl and be like, "It's a shame you're hanging with that dude, be cool if you're hanging with me, but that's all right. I'll see you another time. I'm like, it didn't work. And she was like, I'm happy with my boyfriend. I'm like, and you should be. Good for you. I'm like, these cocksuckers over here told me I should say that to you like I'm Matthew McConaughey. But that night, you guys were like, you haven't seen Requiem? I'm like, no, man, I never saw it. And you're like, all right. And I knew I had saw that it was on Time Warner at the time, or Spectrum, either one. $1.99 to rent it for 24 hours. I go, all right, I'm doing it. I'm going to fucking do this. Went and got me some Taco Bell, and I started watching it. You know, had some chicken nuggets with the Taco Bell, of course. And the remote was nowhere near me. Again, I may have told you this story before, maybe I haven't, but the remote was on my couch. I don't know why I started it and just kind of put it over there. Maybe it's because I was moving things while I was trying to eat my Taco Bell, because I had a nice chair with an ottoman that I was using as like the perfect dinner tray. You know, the ottoman that would move around. Like it was really nice.
Oh, yeah.
So towards the end of the movie, when things are moving fast-paced, showing Jared Leto, Marlon Wayans, the mother, Jennifer Connelly, bam, 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 and, you know, the whole, you know, Maid Marian thing, all that shit, all of it's right in an area, it's just going bam, 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 out of nowhere, for no fucking reason, my Time Warner and or Spectrum, whatever it was at that time, remote, on its own, away from me, started going, channel 71, 72, 71, 72, 71, 72. And I'm like, I don't know if someone did it from afar, whatever the fucking happened. I go, what the fuck is going on right now? I was already tripped out by watching the fast-paced shit here. I had to stop the movie, go back and rewind it just to see what was going on. I don't know what the fuck happened, dude, but to this date, the channel changer went up, down, up, down, up, down during the most intense part of Requiem. Like, it was just like the most intense part, and I'm like, stop, I'm in the middle of jerking here. I mean, I was
Jennifer Connelly did not believe in razors, apparently.
Good for her. All natural, baby. Swing low, sweet chariots.
Easier for a baseball to hit you that way.
I was just gonna say. Well, we're nipple out of here. I mean, we're getting out of here this week. We are the.
Wait a minute. What's your pick? You didn't say your pick.
Oh, what's more fucked up?
Yeah.
I actually personally do think that kids is a little more fucked up, just with the underage amount of sex and spreading of HIV. I think it's a fucked up movie. You should show people. I really think, like, show a 12-year-old kid that, be like, go have sex. I dare you. You're gonna die. I think that would be the best.
Showing in health class. Leave out them beating the guy and stealing the 40. Maybe leave those
just
parts out.
Scenes, just the full-blown rape one. Be like, see that? See? He thinks he's coming. He's getting AIDS.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Oh, the story of 7th grade. Anyway, but we are. That's my personal. I would say kids are more fucked up, but I get that you think Requiem is. So I'll tell you what. Anybody listening to this, you guys always shoot us messages randomly. Let us know. What do you think the ones, especially you guys in India, Muhammad, Akbar. You guys keep sending us a message weekly. Would you like help with your podcast? No, motherfucker. But give me an idea. What do you want to listen to? Tell me a top topic.
I remember that guy a long time ago kept messing with. You guys should do something on Saturday night's main event. But like, asshole, you already emailed us. We did it. We did the episode.
You requested it. I did an entire top topic for you. And then he's like, how come you guys don't do Saturday night's main event? You bot motherfucker. The first time I fell to someone. Oh, good callback.
Jesus Christ.
Good for you. I forgot about that one. All right. Next week, we are back, and, you know, I had to think a little bit about this and how I wanted to do it, but the top topic next week, it is going to be Ring of Honor 2002, and you actually said to me, you go, what is it, you just giving 12 months of results? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
But not totally, but in a way, yes. The good news is it's only one show, that's it. They only did pay-per-views once a month, that's it. So I'm going to cover the first 6 shows next week. At a fast pace, but I want you to understand, when you think about Ring of Honor, you think Briscoes, Danielson, Joe, Punk, all those guys. Man, that is not what was your beginning part of Ring of Honor in 2002. It's impressive when you think about who the first world champion was. Guy had one brow, was kind of a unibrow kind of looking thing. So I'm like, the things you thought you knew about Ring of Honor, I dove in when I had no voice. So I did do the entire year of 2002. Next week, I'm going to be bringing out the first 6 months of Ring of Honor 2002.
Outstanding.
This guy's nodding his head. He's like, and I get to take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to be like, whoa, you're going to wake up and be like, yup, she did have a dick.
Be honest, you tried to put your dick in the thumb hole in those wrestlers when you were younger, didn't you?
That's really funny you say that. First of all, I love doing this to you while you're talking to me. I've been putting my own personal thumb in the picture of it. But my wife actually asked the question. She goes, how many do you think guys back in the day, like little boys, put their own dicks in that thumb hole?
Most,
And I go,
probably.
Yo, for real, you're saying most? Did you?
No.
I swear to God, I saw those guys as fighters.
Not consciously.
I did not see him as a sex toy. I did not see that. I was not like Hulk Hogan. Oh my God, his rectum is wide open right now.
Everybody went for Warrior. We all know that.
Feel the ultimateness of my 1-inch penis. All right,
Feel the
that's fucked up. That's too
destrucity
far.
of my anus.
So what I'm saying is, I never. She goes, how many boys thought about that? And I go, none. I don't think anybody fucking.
Actually, you know what I did? Oh my God! This
I
is
don't know.
funny.
No,
listen.
Stop. I'm not sure. I need to know.
No, you would bend it. You bend it backwards and put its head up its own ass.
Yo, I didn't even put his own thumb up his own ass. I was like, this is a wrestler. He is here for a reason. Did you take a G.I. Joe and fucking what, like finger bang it?
No, it'd be fisting anyway. At that point.
Which I made a mistake the other day. I was saying bye to my brother-in-law, Brian, and then we were leaving her. And my wife goes, did you say bye to Brian? I go, yeah, we fisted. And I didn't mean it like... Nah, I was like, brother, you have yourself a good week.
Yeah.
He's like, no. All right, before this gets worse and the backside of this action figures hole, we are the Top of Wrestling Podcast. I'm the professor. I bid you a farewell. He? Oh, he's ODM. I fucking have no idea where his thoughts are going to go this week, and I'm kind of scared, but you know what? It's the end of the episode. Take it away.
Thanks, Professor. We'll end with a PSA this week. Pad your nipples and lube your thumbs. See you next week. The Top of Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by The Top of Wrestling Podcast. Your hosts are the Professor Mark Fantasia and ODM The Doc Joe Rizzo. Feel free to reach out to the show by email at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com, on their Facebook page, Twitter page, Instagram page. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. You can listen to the show on most popular platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music, Pandora, and YouTube. Without your continued support, it would be just some guys talking wrestling, which is pretty much what it is anyway. Good night, folks. Oh my God.
Dude, just, I wish we had a video of it. The way you go, dude, it was her nipple. I'm fucking dead.
Oh, God.
I stopped breathing at one point. I'm like 90% sure.
Oh my God.
Oh God. Were you like me? You're like, this is my bringing to the table.
Oh yeah. If you want to know how I wrote it, when I initially wrote it just like in a notepad, I woke up on Saturday and I was like, all right, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And then I put MNW for Monday Night Wars. But then I put a little subsection under there, go, BITTT, hit and tit with ball.
Mine's always BITTT.